Hello and welcome back to another episode of the How Long to Beat podcast, a podcast made by members of the community for members of the community. My name is Matt and I'm with my co-hosts Leah,
Hello.
Roy,
Yo, what's up?
and we have the long-awaited return of our dear friend Diallo.
Surprise gamers, I bet you thought you heard the last of me.
Yeah, would you like to update our listeners about where you have been?
Yeah, it's good to be back. Sorry for the absence. Does it sound like I'm coming to you from the opposite side of the country now? Because I am. So basically, in August, I moved from Boston to Seattle. And so I took some time off to both pack up my life in Boston and then also, getting settled in Seattle, doing the whole apartment search and everything. Originally, I was hoping to have returned a couple weeks ago, but in the process of rebuilding my gaming PC, which I've done multiple times at this point, I liken it to the cage on You, like on the show You on Netflix, where like Joe is like transporting the cage with him to like every city that he moves to and like reconstructing it. That was me and my PC because I built it originally in Tokyo, took it apart, rebuilt it in Boston, and then took it apart and had to rebuild it in Seattle. And I was like, okay, you know what? I've done this. This is my third go around at building this PC. Like, surely I must be getting better over time. That couldn't have been farther from the truth. So right out the gate, I dropped my CPU, bent like all dropped the CPU and bent like all the pins. I was like, maybe this is a sign from the universe that I need to upgrade. So I upgraded my CPU. The new CPU was not compatible with my old motherboard. I know there's like workarounds for that if you can't post to like update the BIOS anyway, but I was like, this is too much of a hassle. So that I sent back the new CPU, bought a new version of the old CPU, put that in, still wouldn't post, and then I had to do like all this troubleshooting for like several weeks. So it was a series of technology related unfortunate events, but finally I got a working PC. I'm back, podcast universe. I'm back with a gaming setup, and it's good to be here. But yeah, apologies for the absence.
How long to build a PC? The podcast.
Exactly. it's longer than you think. A lot of like, where you think the credits are about to roll, and it's like, surprise, there's a whole extra act to this.
You're telling me this boss has
Sneaky
another
side
form?
quests.
Exactly.
All right, now that we are a full band of 4 people again, we are going to tackle a longer episode, probably as we have all this merriment and joy among our group. And as always, we will be starting to talk by talking about the games that we have beaten, retired, and played lately. Before we will be moving on to our discussion topic this episode, which is going to be ROM hacks and fan games. And of course, we will top it all off with the usual round of Guess the Game, where the aim of the game is to guess the game. But for now, we are starting with what we have beaten recently.
Hey,
I
Diallo,
would like to.
Yes.
Well,
did you happen to beat anything on your PC adventures?
I mean, no, so full disclosure, I have had a working PC for about like a week now. So, in my absence, I was not playing much. You'll hear about what I have been playing, I guess, in the playing section. But yeah, haven't been able to beat anything because I've been without working technology.
And despite having working technology, I'm in the same boat. No bean buddies, let's go!
Despicable, embarrassing. Well, seeing that Leah and I are the only people that have beaten something, I would like to offer Leah the first word here.
One game that I've beaten is You Are Jeff Bezos, which is an itch game that I found. Looking for games for Guess the Game, actually.
How does this relate to the Guess the Game stuff? Has anybody here played this?
Because yeah, Roy's beaten it.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it's a twine game, so I've been trying to get back into writing and doing a little bit more writing on my own. And I was thinking of doing twine games recently. So I was like, you know what? I haven't played one in a while. Let me play this one and see if, the little branching storylines would be something that I could probably do some writing on. So I played that. I want to say it took me about like 9 minutes to do. So it wasn't, that strong of a completion to be proud of, really. Just like single digit numbers of completion. But it was fun. I mean, again, 9 minutes long, so it wasn't, there wasn't much story to that. But yeah, it's kind of evolved the writing part of my brain now. So now I'm like, you might be hearing more about my writing adventures, and maybe I'll have a Twine game in the future.
That would
I'm
be
I'm
cool.
noticing the developer of You Are Jeff Bezos also made a game called You Are Generative AI. So they really are dipping their toes into being the worst of our current times.
It's
Yeah.
true.
I guess you can appreciate that. I guess that's all that you have to say about Jeff Bezos.
Yes.
All right. So
That
that
was a
that
way to
moves.
phrase it. Cannot believe we didn't have much to say about Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
But it is right in the
Yeah.
title.
Well, I've beaten a couple things as well. One of them on itch.io. I have played a little thing called Nad Attack Redux, which is uh, fittingly with the discussion topic later on. This is basically a sort of fan game based on the fly swatting minigame from Mario Paint on the Super Nintendo.
Ooh.
Uh, if anybody remembers that thing.
Good times, good times.
I remember
I've
that because
always
it's his trophy in Smash Brothers.
Oh my god. I remember borrowing like Mario Paint from neighbor kids back in the days quite a lot, but the fly swatting minigame is honestly the only thing that I truly have memories of, like strong memories. That stuff was pretty cool. And I've always been like kind of curious if anybody ever picked this up to, I don't know, expand on it or whatever. And yeah, seems like the answer is yes. Somebody put this out on itch.io, which is uh, a sort of slightly expanded remake of the original concept, where they seem to have carried over the same types of fly enemies to swat at and added a bunch of original ones. The game itself, I guess if I have to explain it, is that it's all controlled with your mouse, and you have a bunch of random freakazoid critters flying around your screen, and you just have to click them to kill them. And those little freakazoid critters have different kinds of attacks, a little bit like a shoot 'em up kind of thing, where you have to dodge
Yeah.
projectiles and whatnot. Even coming with like boss fights and so on. Like it's a fun time. It does exactly what you expect it to do. The thing is though that and I don't remember if this was already a problem with the original game, but playing this modern remake thing, I and clicking so much to kill these hundreds and thousands of bugs, like really made my hand hurt pretty damn quickly until the true challenge of this game was just, uh, fighting that physical pain in my hand. Honestly,
Yeah.
so I don't
That
know
was
if
definitely a thing in the first one.
Okay, so I was at some point beginning to think that maybe I just suck too hard, that I'm not hitting the flies quick enough, and so the extra clicks are what's causing me pain. But I guess no, this is just
The authentic fly swatter experience.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
an excessive goddamn clicker game. Uh, so
Yeah. The
that's
original one
also
also, I
yeah
played it with the actual mouse that it came with for
yeah
for the Super Nintendo, and that mouse is not, like, ergonomic in whatever shape or form, so, like, playing it with that one was really terrible because they had, like, the little grooves for your finger to sit. That wasn't, like, the best place to
yeah.
swat very well, so, like, having to do it the way that it works to swat them was annoying because I kept on, like, scratching my like, the very corner of my finger on the edge of it, so I'm sure modern mouses meant for PCs probably work a little bit better for this redo.
You would think, yeah, I mean, it's definitely an improvement. I remember
Yeah.
when the Switch 2 was originally announced or whatever, and that mouse function was announced. I was thinking like they have to use that for a Mario Paint reboot or whatever, and they have to do this fly swatting game again. But now that I've played this version, I don't think it would like be that great of an idea, especially with
Um,
the Switch 2 mouse thing. That's probably even worse to do all the clicking with. So maybe
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
it's
you
good
never
that they
know.
didn't go that way. Yeah, fun thing that
I
exists.
forget, did they announce if they're releasing Mario Paint for like
Did
Nintendo
they?
Switch Online?
it's on Nintendo Switch
It
Online,
is. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
dude, I
and I've been
don't
meaning to
even
play it.
wanna. If you play that
Checking to
with
see if
the
people will care.
with the Switch mouse, Switch 2 mouse, I really wanna hear how bad the carpal tunnel syndrome is. That seems like a
Yeah.
nightmare.
I gotta hook up a mouse.
We sacrifice to the god of Mario.
Yeah.
Hot. Yeah, but that's that. I've also played another click heavy game. This thing is called the original Morhoon Hunt. This requires maybe a little bit of context. The Morhoon franchise, which is internationally also known as Crazy Chicken, is like one of the staples of German gaming history. Um, which
Right.
originated as like it originated as a game people put on laptops in a pub where like the pub patrons could play this thing while drinking their beer or whatever, and was specifically made as an advertising campaign, I believe, from some whiskey brand or whatever. So it was an advert game, physically playable
Yeah.
only on
Okay.
laptops in pubs. But it was
Remind me to
so
move to Germany. That sounds really cool.
it does. I don't think any pub does this anymore. This was like in the 90s
I've
or
seen
something.
these. Yeah.
Remind me to get a
But it,
time machine and then move to Germany.
yeah, I don't know if that's so cool either. I don't want to go back. Um,
Just make sure you
the
set the
good
right date.
Right. The good thing is, this was so insanely popular at the time that it quickly became a year-long franchise with like I think close to 50 different releases and spin-offs and all of that stuff on any platform you could think of. You can buy a million a million different Morhoon games
So
nowadays,
it's
even on
available
modern
for the
consoles.
Zebo?
The fuck? I don't fucking know. Probably not the Zebo.
Apparently
But
there's
anything
a
else,
Crazy Chicken Switch edition and
it's
PS5.
probably the Doom of Germany in that it plays on everything.
The
Uh,
Doom of
Amazing.
Doom.
and the gameplay itself is basically like Duck Hunt. You have a bunch of chicken creatures flying around and you just shoot them. It's very, very close to the original Duck Hunt. Though, due to its popularity and its like cheap production style, I guess, we also got a bunch of spin offs like kart racing games and like adventure games with these funky little chickens and whatever. It's a big
Surely you
deal.
played one of the kart racers.
I have indeed played one of the kart racers, and I do. They released a
What?
new one earlier this year that I have on my backlog, which is probably gonna suck, but
Okay.
I will play it someday. There's even a VR Morhoon game that I almost played this week as well. I might play this before the next episode. But this, the original Morhoon Hunt, is a release that just happened this summer. That is just 1-to-1 putting the original pub laptop version of the game onto Steam to play on modern PCs. And I just got it for $3 or whatever it is to have the OG iconic experience for like 10 minutes or so. Uh, the nice thing is, it even comes with, now that we are in 2025, it comes with like a modern global leaderboard with, I think, the highest score is like 2,000 something points. My best score, and I'm seated on, I think, spot number 50 on the leaderboard, is around
Alright.
1,075. That is my best score so far. Um, as you shoot the chickens throughout, I think, 5 minutes or 3 minutes. I don't know. It's a timed thing. And that is all you do. You just do that. It's a casual game through and through, and you try to get on the leaderboard, and that's it. Done. Whatever. The pinnacle of German gaming history. Moving on to my last batch of beaten games, cumulative thing out of different titles that I'm just gonna throw into one thing because it doesn't make sense to talk about them one after the other. I explored a certain rabbit hole around the classic Scary Maze game. I don't know if you remember this stuff in the early 2000s. One of the like viral hits in the early 2.0 days was a screamer trick flash game that you could send around to your friends to prank them, where they would be tasked to do a little maze with their mouse, trying to move the cursor through narrow hallways, trying not to touch the walls. And after the third level, they would be jump scared by a picture of Linda Blair from The Exorcist. Like, this was an early internet staple. Big enough to show up on America's Home Videos, big enough to have a sketch made in Saturday Night Live. Like, it was a phenomenon at the time. Some stupid Flash game. And I have always been curious to explore if there were ever like any developments after the success of that stupid thing, if like the original creator like built on it with new ideas, or if there were like interesting copycats, or maybe like some modern games like taking that nostalgic idea and like making a actual full-fledged game out of it now in the world of indie games and itch.io and whatever. And so I did a little deep dive playing the original Scary Maze game by Jeremy Winterroud. That's the original creator. Was interesting just for nostalgic sense, although it's obviously nothing special. It was funny though. Winterroad himself made multiple versions as it became more and more popular. There's an extra like special version for America's Funniest Home Videos for some reason, with slightly
Interesting.
yeah, with slightly changed visuals and whatever. My favorite though from Winter Road himself is a Justin Bieber version where the thinly veiled explanation is you have to prove that you're the biggest Bieber fan ever. Move the cursor through the crowd of Bieber fans and get to him to tell him how much you love him. Of course, the game itself is the same fucking stupid thing, a basic maze that you have to move through with the cursor. And then the jump scare is not anymore Linda Blair from The Exorcist, but a what's the word, like a negative color version of Justin Bieber screaming at you. It's so
Okay,
fucking
yeah.
stupid.
Negative.
It's awesome. And you know, it has these little tricks, like it plays Justin Bieber's Baby, the song, the whole time, but it's super quiet. So to make sure that you turn up your audio and whatever,
Oh.
like all these stupid things just to trick people into being jump scared with this stupid fucking nonsense. It's the early internet in like its purest form, I feel. It's great shit. And from there on, I went to see a couple copycats. A lot of them are like nothing to talk home about. Like they either were too close to the original without like adding anything new, or like the new ideas didn't really work out in any interesting way. Two I wanna shout out though. For one, it was Maze Game DX by a developer called Razoric. This was also a Flash game that was only released a couple years after the original, so we're still talking the mid 2000s here, which took the concept of the jump scare maze, but actually, instead of just being a prank where you just get surprised in the middle of the game and then it's over, this is an actual game with a win state. You can actually move throughout this whole thing and beat it.
Holy
You're
shit, an
still
actual
moving.
game.
It's crazy, right? You're still moving a cursor through a maze, and you get the occasional jump scare that obscures the screen to make it harder. But you also, your cursor makes like a little blood trail over the screen that even when a jump scare happens, you still see your blood trail on the screen. So you still have an approximation of where you are in the actual maze and whatever, and can like, use that knowledge to get through the maze despite having some stupid screamer in your face. Like there's a bit of thought into it to make it like a proper sort of challenge
Alright.
game and not just a prank software. So that was actually kind of cool. I actually like this Maze Game DX by Razoric. I kind of want to give that a shout out. And then jumping ahead, uh, 18 years in the future, whatever, there's an itch.io game called Dreader by a developer named Donitz, which
Alright.
a modern horror game that picks up the vibe from this ancient nostalgic early internet thing and has you play as a person in front of a PC, playing something like the Scary Maze game as a creature starts to invade your home around you
Oh,
in the 3D
meta.
space. Yeah, there's this sort of meta aspect to it, and it also has some really, really fresh ideas on how to make the Scary Maze game concept on your screen like interesting and flavorful with like little tricks here and there. And it's still also an actual beatable game that takes you like 10 minutes or whatever to go through. Dreader by Donut's genuinely a cool little horror itch game. And one of the things that I would like consider nominating for a future Itchmas or whatever. This was actually a really, really cool thing. And that one does not have a jump scare. It has spooky vibes and whatever. It has a horror atmosphere, but no jump scare. I can guarantee that, which is probably a good thing for most people because we are kind of over the age of jump scares.
If I play it and I do see a jump scare, I'm coming after you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. But yeah, that was my little jump scare rabbit hole a couple days ago. That was actually kind of
Nice.
a fun little travel through darker corners of the net or whatever. And that concludes
The
the entire
darkest
beaten segment, the entire beaten segment, moving us into the retired and paused segment. Again, Diallo and Roy, you have nothing on the agenda for this chapter.
But that's how you know that I'm not replaced by an imposter. I'm staying true to my character and not retiring games.
Yeah, good.
True, no invasion of the body snatchers here.
In that case, though,
Yeah, I also have not done.
yeah, again, Leah and I are the only people that have something to talk about here, and I would like to again give Leah the first word.
I tried Magarena, which is yet another version of Magic the Gathering that I could find, and I finally gave up on it. I really wanted to like this one because you're able to like just import any card the same way that you can do that in cockatrice. Um, but it was a little bit more advanced. It's a nice mashup of arena and cockatrice, but it's really sluggish and boring to
Oh
get through
God.
a game on that. So after a while, I just kind of gave up. Like the way that they show the cards attacking, they just kind of put the card right on top of it, and I'm like, I can't see the other card that I'm attacking. I don't know, like between arena struggling all the time and then this one just like not taking any inputs whatsoever. I was just like, I give up on this. And then I downloaded Gundam card game teaching app
Oh.
just to learn about the Gundam card game. So I just played the tutorial. I don't know if there's like more to this game, being that it's a teaching app and not actually the game. But I played through the tutorial, but Gundam has never really been my thing. There's certain game mechanics in this one that remind me of other games. Like they have like you some of the cards are pilots and some of the cards are the Gundams. So if you put down the Gundam, you can pair it up with a pilot, which is kind of like the boost mechanic in Lorcana. So like you can their attack power combines or whatever. You have your cards on one side and you also have like your base, but your base has shields. So it's kind of like the way that One Piece or Star Wars universe Unlimited does
Yeah.
their setup. So I was like, oh, okay. I vaguely understand certain things based on other card games or whatever, but it's not a game that I'm gonna play in real life. I don't care about this app past learning the tutorial. So I got what I needed out of it, and I uninstalled it. It does seem like if you're into Gundam, it probably is more of an interesting game to play. Like I was just interested to see what your game is like, so that's why I downloaded it and that's why I'm uninstalling it now.
Makes sense.
But yeah.
Another card game in the dust.
Yeah.
Gone and dusted.
Yeah. So now we come to Arena, where my struggles continue. I had a moment where I must have hit like the same person that my boyfriend uninstalled his version of the game recently. I know he still brings up that it was like something to do with like a poison counter that like affected the player and not actually the characters, and he was like still complaining about it when I
Yeah.
uninstalled mine. But like
Poison ruled.
I had uninstalled it on mobile because I hit somebody where they just didn't want to attack me at all, and they kept like ignoring attacks, and they just kept building up the board to the point where like their characters, you would have to scroll like 3 different times just to see all the characters on the board, and I was like, bro, just attack me or something. And like I couldn't do anything because I would only have like 3 characters at a time, and then they would just demolish my characters, and they just kept going building up their army, and I was like, bro, like I don't have anything that's going to like give me life gain or like or boost up my life. So I'm just struggling with like 20, like the normal 20 life gauge. I think I had to like go eat or something, or I had to go cook, and I was just like, I need this game to be done, and they just wouldn't attack me, and I was just like, you know what, whatever. So I just conceded the game,
Yeah.
uninstalled the game, and I was just like, I'm done with this, whatever. But yeah, I left it. I still have it on my PC. I uninstalled it from my Mac. I uninstalled it from the mobile, but that may have come back. So we'll come back to that later. Um, but then the other thing I did was Magic the Gathering Online. I finally tried that one out because I keep on hearing that as like an alternative to Arena. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, let's see how this runs. But for some reason, it wouldn't connect. It wouldn't let me use my account that I made for Arena. So I had to make another account, but it wouldn't let me use the same email that I used for Arena because that already had an account.
Huh.
That's annoying.
It's like, all right,
Brilliant.
well, whatever. So I don't know if they're connected or what. I was like, it looks like they're the same company, but who knows? So tried that one out, and that one was a little bit better than Magarena, but like just that's the thing. Like it was only just better than the Magarena, and this was like an official release. So I was like, man, if I'm barely getting by with Magarena, and then I'm gonna just play this one. And like the thing about Magarena, I can play it on my Mac and my PC. With this one, I could only play on my PC.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm doing better if I'm just sticking to Magarena. So got rid of that one also. So then I found untap.in, which is a site where it's like you can play multiple card games online with people. But for like every 2,000 Magic players, there's like 3 Lorcana players. So
Yeah.
like it's
That
not
checks
great
out.
for me if I want to play Lorcana, but if I want to play like anything else, and you can also like add your own games and stuff. So
Huh.
I've also really appreciated having apps that will let me do multiple things at once instead of just having like this game has its own app. I'd rather just have one app where I can just play all of them, whatever. The thing is that like a lot of the Magic people on here only want to play Commander. Like they
Yeah.
have like different levels, and you can play like beginner levels and like competition levels and stuff like that. But like every time that I would start a beginner match and like wait for people, they would just show up, throw a card on the field, and then in chat be like, play Commander, and then just leave.
Fuck
So I was
off.
like, okay.
That's so
So
rude.
Yeah.
so I was like, all right, well, at least people were showing up there. Like if I try to play Lorcana on there, I would never get any matches done whatsoever. So I still have to do my sneaky other way of playing Lorcana in order to actually get those matches done. But yeah, so it's so far the only way that I've been able to do Magic the Gathering with people online besides tabletop. So far Untapped is the winner when it comes to
Uh,
playing Magic for me.
hey, if it works, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
Mahjong Soul, I also retired because sort of the same thing where like I finished the tutorial, I was enjoying it, but the community only wants to play competitive matches. There's nobody in the casual area whatsoever. And
Mm.
like I was trying to get a game going, and I was in the queue waiting for like 20 minutes. And I was like, this is Mahjong. It's not even like what's going on that there's nobody playing like casually. Who knew that like Mahjong was that competitive? But like if you go in the competitive match, it'll like immediately link you up with somebody. So I was like, I don't really feel like doing that. I just started this game, so I don't really feel to be playing ranked games. So
People only want the most intense and serious mahjong, I suppose.
yeah, very very serious people. I do know that there were some people that were playing it on Twitch, so that might also be a thing where people play with like their community or something. I don't know. Marvel Snap, which I finally hit the wall of like those players here that just like I would start the game, I'm doing really good, and then like that last turn they would just throw out some crazy characters that I didn't even know had abilities to do anything. And I would just like demolish me or whatever. It finally turned the point where I was losing more games than I was winning, which was good to an extent, but I know that in order to get past that, it becomes that thing where I'm gonna have to start spending money. to get like the little plaques or whatever. So I was
Ah,
like, I don't know which cards are gonna be good, and I'm gonna have to open like 50 different packs. And like I had enough credits or whatever in the game to open like 10 packs or whatever, but I was like, I'm sure this isn't gonna be the way to win. You're gonna need like the premium currency or whatever. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna cut my losses and like uninstall this right now before.
What if I just
yeah,
don't?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, basically. So I was like, all right, I have my fun and it's an enjoyable game. Probably come back to it later also. And then Tricky Bridge, I finished the tutorial. I was helping out my little robot tutor friend. Um,
Right.
did some competitions with them. Finally have unlocked all of the knowledge that there is about bridge. And then that was it. Like,
Oh man. Oh no.
and then I tried one other game in the app, and it was just taking forever to load. So I don't know. I want to call this completed in my brain because I was like, I think that there's nothing else to do. But I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure there's other sections that you could do if you wanted to, again, pay for different things and like grind for like the different card backs that they have or like user whatever. So there's other things to do. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to do them. So I uninstalled it. And now I can play bridge
Makes sense.
in a tabletop sim.
Hell yeah. God, have you? I think this is the first time you retired this many card games. I think. Are we actually getting to the end of your card game deep dives?
Yeah, I think so.
Damn,
I've
it's been
been
a
I've
long
been basically been playing
journey.
tabletop sim for like the last
Right.
week. So
I've been doing a lot of
Against?
tabletop sim too, although I doubt the same thing as you.
Yeah. I'm expecting you to talk about Hero Quest again later,
Hero Crest.
or whatever it was. Um.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna
Okay.
give it like a quick mention and then pop out kind of thing.
Right. But for now, I guess it's my turn for my retired and powers
yes.
games. I don't have that many titles. I don't have all these card games under my belt. I'm sticking to Magic, and my Magic rant is gonna come later in the playing section. For now, what I have dropped are let's start with freaking Vox Populi Germany 2025, the politics simulator thing that I've been rambling about in previous episodes as well. Last time I already like said that I'm like on the verge of dropping it because it's not capturing my interests like enough to really like dig into all these subsystems and all the complexities of this nonsense. So I think I finally just made the decisions.
Oh
Okay,
my god.
this is kind of neat, and I kind of appreciate what it's doing in how it's like representing specifically German elections of recent years. But this is just not the kind of game that I am in the mood for right now, and maybe not even the kind of genre that I will ever be fully in the mood for. So that is officially out of the window for now. Another game that
Bye bye
I've
bye.
bye bye politics. We don't need ya in my free time anyway. Another game that I've tried and basically dropped after the first session is Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game 3. It's a
Not believe you
beautiful
dropped that
title.
one. It sounds so promising.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, this doesn't even live up to the
It's
Hooters racing game. I'm disappointed.
I mean, this one is the official video game.
It is the official one.
3.
Free. It is.
Yeah,
It
that
is
means there must be 2 more. Maybe the early ones are better.
shockingly, there's even 4 more, I think. There's like 5 in total. I didn't get the recent one. I
I love that
specifically
because literally no one is asking for these.
I don't even think that's true. I think these are actually very popular. I
Really?
I mean, there has
specifically,
to be
yeah,
somebody asking for them because otherwise they won't keep making them.
that's true.
I
Stakeholders.
stand corrected.
And I specifically went and got number 3 because it's a fan favorite as well. Like this was the one that the people had the least gripes with and whatnot. And like to be fair, I didn't drop this because a bad game. Like it's a supercross racing game. It's a dirt bike racing game. And what it's doing seems to be genuinely good as well, like on a technical level, on a presentation level. It seems like a good game if you are into dirt bike races. Um, it just turns out that's not my cup of tea. Like that is really all that is.
Not your cup of monster.
my, my cup of Monster. You wanna know what's funny? Actually, this is Monster Energy branded, but there's also Rockstar Energy stuff in there. Like I was like, huh? Is
That
this
is kind of
allowed?
surprising, actually.
Yeah.
Legal?
Um, I'm still looking for my next big racing game after I beat Need for Speed Pro Street a couple of weeks ago at this point. And I was thinking this might be the next one. Dirt bike stuff is not something I have a lot of experience with, but I was curious to try that subgenre of racing games. But like, what I don't like about those is, for one, you can fall off your bike, which is annoying. You don't have that problem in your car, and it's a problem that has shown up in my snowmobile racing games before. But like in that, I can like tolerate it because I like the environment there. Here with these dirt bike races, dude, the race tracks are so lame. I've previously said plenty of times, I believe, that the environmental design, like the theming and the visual presentation, makes a lot of a racing game. Like it's a very important part of it in my eyes. You need interesting environments to race through. This being a realistic style dirt bike game, you spend most of your time in like stadiums with artificially built dirt tracks. It's just not visually appealing or very interesting. Also, dirt bike tracks have the tendency to be very cramped and like with like harsh corners, and you spend your time huddled together in a bundle of 40 bikes on a really narrow road and whatever. It's all the things that I do not care about in racing games. I want open roads. I want my space. I want a nothing, ideally nothing on the racetrack in my way, so I can like really get into that zen state and get like the best time or whatever. I don't care much about the race game types that are about uh, dodging your enemies and like there's a huge emphasis here with getting into the rhythm to bounce over those dirt hills and that sort of stuff, which is not. I like to chase the perfect line in a racing game, but I don't care about this dimension with all the dirt hills and whatnot, I guess, if that makes sense to anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, this seems like a very solid game. Genuinely, I don't think this is a bad game. It's just not my type of racing game, and I'm gonna go look for something else. So that's gone.
The third one is everyone's favorite because you're able to have female avatars.
Is that so? Are you telling me that is the
That's
only
a good
one?
thing.
It is a good thing.
Well, wait, why would they get rid of that feature?
They said female
The
avatars never again.
Reviewers appreciated the introduction of female writers and the customization options of the third release, as well as the ability to skip tutorials if familiar with the prior
crazy
games.
feature, dog. It's funny too. I did make a female character as well, uh, purely for the reason that the all of the male character
But there you
models,
go.
like they all had short hair, and all the female characters, they had the only like long hair hairstyles. So that was my easy choice. Even though you carry a helmet, you wear a helmet, you don't even see that anyway. Whatever. But I don't understand. They have the physics, the hair physics, they have the tech. Why make that exclusively? We do have the technology. Why make that an
We do have
exclusive
the
female
technology.
feature? That makes no sense. Dudes have long hair. Come on, especially in like radical sports like that. Come on.
Apparently
I have
not
to
in
say,
Monster World.
just a quick side note. Hair physics are often how I base my character creations around. Like I often look for when I'm like choosing through like various hairstyles, I decide which is gonna be like the bounciest, most fun hair. I love me some hair physics. That's like
Yeah, I might be real. That is one of my focuses as well when I make a character. Yeah.
I mean, hair is
On that
Mm.
note, I feel like at this point we are at a good spot with video game tech that we can do good long hair. I feel like we are still lacking long beards. Like beard is still seems like more of a problem I fear
Mm.
in character creations. I'm still hoping that we get to a better
Mm.
point there in the future.
I'd probably agree with that. Yeah.
I'll give them about 2 years.
Yeah,
I assume it's hard to keep it
possibly.
from like clipping
Right.
and like looking
I
right on the
mean, same with
chin
long hair, but
compared to the rest.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if it's clipping, I don't care.
I kind of feel like with long hair, maybe you can like make it
Yeah.
further back from the scalp.
Yeah,
You might not, you don't
That's
care
true.
because
Yeah,
we don't care,
that's
but
true.
you know that
I
there's
care about my
people who
beards
care.
in
You know what I
games.
mean? But
Can you imagine what a big deal it's gonna be once like someone finally figures out how to end
No.
clipping in video games? Like that's the big technological innovation that I'm waiting for. And when
clipping and
when our grandchildren are like, oh my gosh, the video games used to play. Like
Oh my
why is
god.
everything like going through the characters?
Yeah.
What's this like weird thing that's going on? Like it's gonna be so funny looking back on
Mhm.
modern games once clipping has been eliminated. Because it's just like so accepted nowadays. But I feel like
Yeah,
it's
it's
not an
probably
unsolvable problem. I say knowing nothing about how this stuff works.
Clearly, it's an easy
it's
fix.
not an unsolvable problem,
As
says
person
man
who's
with no
never
knowledge.
touched a
I'm
blender.
assuming clipping itself is probably an easy fix to reduce friction among body parts. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's still around. Like when it comes to physics simulation, so that sort of thing. I don't fucking.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, also probably just hard to get everything exactly like you want when you have to like do like
Yeah.
50 million hair molecules or
Yeah.
whatever AAA games do
Well.
nowadays. Before we get off the racing game though, I do want to say two things. First off, just try Ridge Racer. I'm just saying again.
Which one?
Bring it up again.
All vibes.
Type 4. Type 4 is the
Yeah, that
best. Type 4
is on my
if
list.
you want a game that's like all vibe, I'm
Yeah.
telling you. Secondly, this is $249 on sale on Switch. I could get it.
Yeah, sure. Like again, it doesn't seem like a bad game. If you're into it, sure.
Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game, is free. 90% off. It's 90%
Yeah,
off.
there you go. It's probably good value. Gotta make sure to get all those DLC packages though, with all the branded clothing that you can get. It's full of that shit for sure.
Funny enough, I don't see it selling any DLC here, so maybe they're not on Switch.
Oh yeah, might be.
God, this is 6.1 gigabytes?
Yeah, it's a lot of dirt it has in its files. Oh, dirt hills.
Oh, you could. Have you ever tried Excitebike or Excitebike 64
No,
for that
I've never
matter?
played those. Again, I'm not really a bike
I wonder if
guy.
those would be more your speed for those kind of
I've played
games.
Dirt Tracks
Because
FX
obviously Excitebikes.
on Super Nintendo though. That is a good bike game.
Well, you do like your effects.
Yeah, I like the FX shit. Okay, anyway, let me move on to my final and most exciting retired game, though. This is an unfortunate retirement because I love this game. I just cannot beat it. This is so I've been traveling a bunch recently on my vacation, and I carried my Nintendo 3DS with me, my hacked 3DS, the superior 3DS, and I do have a Virtual Boy emulator on there, which fucking rules. Like I'm still so mad. Like we were years past the 3DS, but I'm still so baffled and mad that they did not revive Virtual Boy games with the 3DS. It just seemed perfect because they were able to represent
It did.
the 3D depth of the Virtual Boy games without needing some sort of visor or glasses or whatever. They could have done it on the 3DS. I don't know why it didn't happen then. Thankfully,
We could have had
we
it
could have
all.
had it all. Thankfully, smarter people with better tastes have created a Virtual Boy emulator for the 3DS to play Virtual Boy games with the native 3D capabilities of that 3DS platform, which is awesome. You can even change the color from red to anything you like. So I'm playing all in pink, and it's awesome. Anyway, the game that I have retired is called Red Alarm, one of the 10 original Virtual Boy games. And this is a shoot 'em up game where you control a spaceship through a 3D hallway esque environment, and you shoot a bunch of creatures, you dodge a bunch of projectiles, and you have a bunch of boss fights, and that's it. It has 5 levels, so theoretically really short, but I cannot for the life of me beat this thing. When I bought my VR headset years ago, one of the first things was putting a Virtual Boy emulator on that shit. And I remember playing Red Alarm then as well, a long time ago, and I was never able to beat it there. So this was my second attempt, and I even went to the easiest difficulty, hoping I could finally see the full thing. But even with that, this is just too difficult. My best attempt was getting to the boss fight of level 5. I think there's still like an epilogue level after that, from what I've read. Point is, like, I didn't get to the credit roll or whatever awaits you after the win. And I gave it enough attempts that I'm like ready to give up. But I love this game. It's the whole thing is in complete wireframe aesthetics. You do not have textured surfaces at all because the Virtual Boy was not able to render that stuff. So it's all pure wireframe in a way that it truly requires the depth perception of the Virtual Boy of 3DS. Otherwise, you would not be able to uh, recognize where the hell these objects are or what they even are representing. But with the 3D effect, it is actually really cool. The aesthetic is awesome. I really love just how it looks from a, like an art style way, but it's also kind of cool how they animate certain transformation of certain like model types with just these 3D vector lines and whatever. It's a certain art style that just doesn't work in almost any other like system because you're lacking the 3D effect and whatever. You couldn't use this stuff, so it's a really unique visual experience, I think. It's also there's something
Right.
about the Virtual Boy being able to play these retro games, these truly vintage retro games that are still playing with a 3D space. It is still super interesting, even now that we have all these VR games and whatever, where our current technology is so enhanced and whatever. It is still wild to see games that were created in the 90s inside this sort of VR 3D space. It is a completely different and unique feeling, which is one of the reasons why I love like revisiting these Virtual Boy games, this true, like, talked to death little oddity that lived for such a short time. I'm so glad that we now have all these capabilities to access those games in really comfortable ways with the 3DS or like a modern VR headset or whatever. Now that the Switch 2 also has, of course, the re-release of the Virtual Boy stuff and whatever, which is kind of stupid and overpriced, but it's still kind of exciting to me, and I would love to see this sort of like revive, I don't know, the Virtual Boy homebrew community or whatever, which is a thing.
That would be cool.
But yeah, maybe this
Yeah.
gives it even more fire or whatever. It's something about that platform and its legacy is just super fascinating to me. And generally, Red Alarm, complete and utter recommendation from me. It's tough, but it's super cool. And if you get an emulator that has save states, the one on the 3DS doesn't, unfortunately. If you have save states, then genuinely fucking get through that. I'm probably gonna boot this up again on my VR headset emulator, which I believe does have save states, and then actually finally beat it sometime that way. But without save states, forget about it. Anyway, that's
Maybe if I ever get a Switch 2, I'll get that Virtual Boy and I'll
that
check
would
it
be
out.
awesome. I hope they put. Did they on the Virtual Console stuff? Did Nintendo ever like put save state features and stuff? Is that a thing they do?
Yeah, they've had that from the
For
start.
the
There we
Nintendo
go.
Switch Online,
Yeah,
they seem to,
with
yes.
that feature, I think this would be a great experience to play for sure. Yeah, but that's my retired and pause games. Moving us on to the playing section, where finally everybody has something to
New player
provide
has
for
joined.
the episode. And I would,
We're all playing something.
yeah, everybody's playing shit. And I would like to hear Diallo, since we haven't heard his voice in these for so long.
Yes.
Right?
Rename
All right, let's see if I remember how to do this. So the first game that I've been playing is Hollow Knight Silksong, which I think I mentioned this in like the episode where we talked about our upcoming the releases in 2025 we're looking forward to. And I kind of like made an offhand comment like, oh, Silksong is my most anticipated game of all
Mhm.
time, but who knows if we're ever gonna like see it because
Right.
I like so Hollow Knight, one of my favorite games ever. Silksong, I did not think was gonna come out this year, frankly. Like my point was like if it comes out before I die, I'll be happy. So I fully expect to be 60 years old in the retirement home, like playing Silk Song.
Lightning!
I had some
Silksong
like moments of doubt where I was like, maybe this is like an elaborate prank. Like maybe this game is like just like they're teasing us. It's not actually a thing that's gonna happen. So whenever Direct happened, when they announced it was coming out in September of 2025, I was
Yeah.
fully shook. I was not expecting it to come so soon. I also felt very upset because September 4th was the day that I moved into my apartment. So I was like, how dare you take my most anticipated game and release it on like what's going to be like one of the busiest days
That's
of
so
me like
mean.
of the decade,
It's brutal.
right? It was so I didn't get to play it on release day because I was otherwise preoccupied with all the stress of moving, and then I didn't end up actually getting around to playing it until a couple weeks afterwards. Also, shout out to my Steam Deck because with all the like foolishness that happened with my PC setup, I wouldn't have been able to actually start Silk Song had I not had my Steam Deck on hand. So thank you, Steam Deck, for coming through and not making me
Nice
have to wait like
feedback.
several months to get started into Silk Song. But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot so far. I guess despite how much I'm enjoying it, I don't have a ton to say. It feels a lot like it reminds me of why I loved Hollow Knight so much. It's a lot of like sort of the same charm of the original game, but with like a new character this time around. You're playing as Hornet, who just like exudes swag. My favorite character from the original game.
Exude.
You've got like a new skill set this time around, like a new moves and like tools to work with. It's a lot of fun. I'm still pretty early on. I'm only a couple hours in at this point. Still in Act 1. I think the most recent boss that I beat was called Fourth Chorus, who in my head I kept referring to as Fifth Harmony. But but enjoying it a lot so far. It's a bit on the back burner because of the next game I'm about to talk about, but I want to get back to it, in the near future. I'm enjoying it. I will keep you posted with my thoughts as I progress through the game. I hear that it's massive. So I'm excited to see just like, how large and vast this new world is. And again, this is a game that's a little bit hard to talk about how open-ended it is. Like as Metroidvanias go, the order in which you can progress is like very different from person to person. So it's hard to like say like, this is like where I am like story-wise. And I guess this game is broken into acts, which makes it a little bit easier to translate into like some sort of overall progression. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Looking forward to playing more of it. And that's all of what I have to say for it for this time. The next game that I've been playing, which has been totally consuming a lot of my focus, has been Pokemon Legends ZA.
Okay.
And so a little bit of an announcement is that I'm not playing it on Switch 1. I'm playing it
Oh.
on Switch 2.
Oh, you lucky dog?
I caved last week. I decided to treat myself to a Switch 2, so I got it. I'm playing it on that, and I'm enjoying it a lot so far. So yeah, I got to play the demo for this game at PAX. My very first weekend in Seattle, I actually went like a 4-day pass to PAX, so I had a lot of fun at said convention, getting to see all of the goods and stuff. Tried a couple demos. I played this one, and also the Digimon Time Changer demo. Of course, I
Oh.
meant to talk about this, before those games released, but then I had my whole hiccups and everything. So we're talking about them now, and now they're both like out in the universe, so it's not as exciting anymore. But
But still.
yeah, I've been playing Pokemon Legends ZA. Has been my main gaming focus recently, and it feels a little bit like the uncanny valley of Pokemon. Like there's a lot that's the same. It's like same but different. A lot of it is like the Pokemon DNA that you like know and love. But there's some big changes this time around. I guess so. To start off, the original Pokemon Legends Arceus was very groundbreaking in that it sort of shifted the standard Pokemon formula and made it sort of like a exploration based like open world style game where you're sort of traversing all these different terrains and like you're seeing the Pokemon in their natural habitat and try to like sneak up on them and catch them, giving it like a more like action style. And this game takes a lot of the same DNA but they kind of shift it a little bit. This time around it takes place in like an urban setting, so I feel like some of the charm, the sense of like exploration you have in like the big natural landscapes that's a bit lost in this game when you're sort of like condensed everything to like a city. Like so there's these wild zones that pop up all around the city. So you do have like some sort of like I guess wilderness adjacent areas, but because you're overall in a city, it does feel a little bit more closed in. It doesn't have the same sort of like sense of like you're making this like trek, this epic journey that the first game had. So that's been a little bit. I'm still undecided how I feel about that. I think I am kind of missing the original open landscapes a bit more. Also, I guess the biggest change this time around is that they've done away with the traditional turn-based style of Pokemon combat, and they've instead gone with real-time
Oh.
combat. So your Pokemon still has like 4 moves, but they each have
Yep.
cooldowns, and it's kind of like more of an action RPG this time around.
Huh.
And I'm still on the fence about how I feel about that. It's I think it makes sense to have a game that's like that has you be so sort of like it feels like an action game in the overworld, and so to have that translate to the combat, it feels like it makes sense. But I think that it feels like the battles in general require less strategy now. They feel a lot more button mashy. I'm
Mm.
still pretty early on, so maybe my opinions on that will change like as I get deeper and like I guess have more advanced moves in my arsenal. But that's definitely like, one of the big notable changes this time around. There's also like a lot of other small tweaks, like some of the statuses have been reworked. So what used to be sleep is now drowsy for this game, and
Yeah.
What?
they work a little bit. They function a bit differently.
I actually,
One thing about this game
sorry, I
too.
actually wanna.
Oh yeah.
What is the difference? What between drowsy and sleep?
So I don't actually
Oh,
know yet,
okay,
but
okay.
I think so. When your Pokemon is
Um,
asleep, they can't do anything for a
Yeah.
couple turns. I think with drowsy, it's like intermittent. I think like sometimes they can do stuff, but sometimes they can't do stuff.
So it's
I haven't like the other thing is that the
paralyzation?
battles happen so quickly. It seems like paralyzation to me what I've seen so far. But again, the battles are so I guess kind of fast paced now that I actually have not been when a Pokemon gets statused, I often don't realize until after the battle, like,
Oh.
oh, you've had a status this entire fight. So maybe they haven't been able to act, and I just haven't noticed it because like things have been just like so like explodey, flashy, like as the combat
so,
was going on. So I feel like I
so
do need to take some time to
real
like read
quick,
through how the new statuses work. But yeah,
the way drowsy works is that it's 50% chance, I believe, not to move, and you take increased damage from attacks.
gotcha. Thank you.
Oh,
But yeah, so little tweaks like
that
that.
sucks. There's no
And then
sleep.
I guess one of yeah.
And they also have a new frostbite one, which I actually think might be even neat to bring to the main game. That's like burn, but it cuts special attack.
Oh,
Oh,
nice. That is kind of interesting.
wild.
One thought that I keep having as I play this game is that it feels a lot more like an RPG than previous Pokemon games have. Like for me, Pokemon is already, like, I guess like they've all technically been RPGs, but like Pokemon has been like its own like sort of like sub genre in my mind. But this one feels like kind of like a typical RPG, like for reasons that I can't 100% articulate, but I'm gonna do my best to see if I can like put my finger on like why I feel that way for this one. So I think one of the big reasons is that the story seems to be taking a bigger part this time around. So I feel like in typical Pokemon games, it's kind of like you're on a mission to like get all the badges and and to collect all the Pokemon. In the background somewhere, like you have some evil like Team Rocket or whoever the villainous organization is for the game, like doing their sort of like B plot that you have to thwart eventually. But it's like not really. I feel like the gameplay and the collection aspect comes like first and foremost for typical Pokemon games. Whereas this time around, I feel like the story is like much more integrated into like how they're. I feel like there's like an actual the story is not just like a side thing. I feel like it's like they have a story that they want to tell, and the vehicle that they're telling the story is like through the game. So said story is that you show up in Lumio City, and there's this like competition going around where like you're trying to rank up from like rank Z to all the way to rank A,
Oh.
hence the name. And there's also like this sort of thing where like wild Pokemon have been undergoing rogue mega evolution. So typically you need like a trainer to mega evolve a Pokemon. But for some reason, these like wild Pokemon have been like mega evolving on their own, and there's an organization that's trying to figure out, why this is happening. And mega evolution is definitely much more central to the story this time around. That's one of the big reasons that I've been playing this game so hardcore is because I want to. It's been all over social media, and I'm trying to like be as unspoiled as possible for like the new mega evolutions. Like I know Mega Starmie, for example, has been like memed
Yeah.
to death.
Yeah.
It's gone super viral. Also, I might attempt a Mega Starmie costume for Halloween. So
Yeah.
watch this space.
Yeah.
If
That's dope.
you do, please try to get a photo so we can.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If I pull it off, there will 100% be photo evidence. But yeah, I'm trying to sort of like progress as quickly as possible so that I can like see the megas before they have them spoiled for me. I've gotten to rank E now, is where I finished off last night. But yeah, so you're like working with this organization that's trying to like discover like the secrets of like why this like rogue evolution is happening. You like are living in this hotel and you have your little like team meetings in a hotel. It reminds me kind of like of Persona almost. Even down to the soundtrack, I feel like even some of the soundtrack feels a little bit like Persona-esque. I don't know, it just feels like there's like a bigger cast of characters. They're like working towards like an overarching plot in a way that I feel like I haven't seen a Pokemon game previously. That just makes it feel like more RPG than typical. Also, there's a lot of side quests, and I love a side quest. So I've been like trying to do like all the side missions whenever they pop up. But yeah, it's definitely got me hooked. Still kind of like on the fence about how I feel about certain some of the changes. I guess I'll have a more informed opinion as I get closer to the end of the game. I'm currently 12-ish hours in. One last thing I want to say about this game is that it really takes. So one trope in the Pokemon universe has been that if trainers lock eyes, they have to engage in a Pokemon
Of
battle,
course.
and the way that they've executed that in this game is really funny because like they've essentially made jumping a huge mechanic. So you're trying to like not be seen when you're in the battle zones. So there's a day and night cycle in the game, and at nighttime, a certain area of the city will open up as a battle zone, and you can go to said battle zone, fight other trainers, accumulate points, etc., etc. When you're in the battle zones, you're trying your best not to be seen by the other trainers because if they see you, they're gonna like attack you and everything. It's a very violent, hostile world out here, apparently. But in order to sort of like circumvent that, the best way is for you to like sneak around and then try to just like attack their Pokemon before they've seen you. So you're just like fully just mugging people on the street this time around, and it's interesting. It's very violent, but I guess it's the direction that Pokemon's going in 2025. So
It also does feel
I think I'm here for
very
it.
like classic JRPG thing. So I get what you
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I could see give that feeling. Yeah,
Right.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the new megas. Excited to see where the story goes for this one. I will keep you all posted with this one as well.
I before we leave, just all I want to say is that
Yes.
I think the lack of exploration, like the wilderness stuff, is indeed a downside. But I do kind of
Mm,
like that we get to see a Pokemon City in more full
yeah.
detail than your average Pokemon game where it's obviously condensed. It is cool that there's
Yeah.
like the full city exploration. Also, game has some good, pretty dang good character designs, although it's Pokemon, so that's not surprising.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Thank you for reminding me of like one other thing I wanted to mention is that I feel like Pokemon over the years has been trending to like more and more absurd hairstyles, and this game is definitely continuing that trend. There
Oh
is
yeah,
some
there's
wild,
some wild ones.
some wild things are happening with these follicles.
We also got yet another VTuber.
My very important question to you is, what is your current
Yes.
team? We need this information.
Yes. Okay. So I chose Chikorita as my starter.
Excellent.
Yes. Also, I love Mega Meganium. It's everything
Yeah.
that I hoped for. It's almost like exactly the design that I envisioned too. So I'm very glad about that.
Hell yeah.
So you get a lot of access to starters this time around. So currently I have Meganium, I have Delphox, I have Greninja. I do have a Chespin in my box, but I've never liked the Chespin evolution line. So and I also have Meganium as my starter. So Chespin is box right now. I have and the other three kind of like are a rotating party. I have a Heracross that I got from an early
Dope.
game trade, and it's just so OP. Like I'm trying not to rely on it, but like that's my win condition. If I'm ever at a hard
Yeah,
fight and I just like if it looks like things are gonna get rough, I just send in Heracross, just like one KOs everybody, and then it's game
Hell
over.
yeah.
Yeah, that traded Heracross, from what I know, is like the early game killer kind of thing.
Yeah, it's too strong. Please nerf. The last two slots kind of tend to be like rotating. Like, Heracross gets benched every now and then, but like I usually like to have him, in waiting on standby in case I need to like bring out the big guns. Currently I have Swablu. I wanted to evolve into Altaria because I love Mega Altaria.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite Mega Pokemon. And then Amora is currently filling out the final slot. Very, very weak right now. I need to it's just sort of like leeching experience from other
Yeah.
Pokemon, and I'm hoping that it evolves soon. I was using Diggersby for a little bit. I benched Ghastly at some point. I wanted to evolve it into like Gengar, but
Yeah.
I lost steam with that. There was someone else I swapped out recently that I had a Pancham. I wanted to evolve into like Pangoro, but it was just taking too long. So
Right.
I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm expecting frequent updates on the team development.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
You gotta get them.
Yeah. And the last game that I've been playing is To a T, which is a game that came out this year from Keita Takahashi, who is the creator of Katamari. And it's funny, I was playing this game on stream, and as I was playing it, I was talking about how much I love Katamari. And the new Katamari game dropped today, and I was like, oh, I forgot all about that. I could have been playing that instead. So I will get to the new Katamari game eventually. I am liking to a T though. But yeah. Anywho, so the concept for this game is you're playing as a teen. It starts off on their 13th birthday, and you're a kid who's like stuck in a perpetual T pose. Like so, your arms are always like you're T shaped. Which presents like it presents various challenges for you, like as you navigate your life. It's hard to brush your teeth because you have to like lower one arm, grab the
Oh
toothbrush,
my
and then like
god.
lower. You have to do like all these gymnastics to sort of get any sort of task done, and then you're also starting to get teased at school because there are these bullies who are like making fun of you and being jerks, very insensitive to your condition. It seems like there's going to be like you start to uncover this power that you have the ability to spin around like a tornado and sort of fly around that way. I'm not super far into this game either yet, but it's very cutesy. Very has like a lot of the charm of this creator's games. It's very like colorful, whimsical world. There's an NPC giraffe and makes you sandwiches.
Yeah.
There's lots of little musical interludes with this chorus. It's like all cheering you on. Be like, never forget, you're the
Oh no.
perfect shape.
Jesus.
It's so cute. It's a very cute game. I'm liking it a lot. It's got a lot of charm. I will say for this one, it also feels a lot more story than some of this creators' other games have been in the past. Like I feel like Katamari, there is like an overarching story, but I feel like the main draw for Katamari is like roll things up, ball gets bigger, roll more things up, etc., etc. So you're there for like the arcade game aspect of
Yeah.
it. And like what Tom had a story as well, but that one was also like a very abstract story. It felt like again the biggest draw felt like the kooky gameplay mechanics. Whereas this time around, it feels like there's like definitely like a narrative and the narrative central stage, and it feels like a kind of a slice of life video game. You're going through like a couple days like in this kid's life, and you're there's like fun little mini games as you're navigating like them going to school or like them walking around the neighborhood, getting snacks and everything. This is a pretty short game, so I thought that I might be able to beat it. Do so. About like 3 hours in now, and it's about like 6-ish hours. So about unless I'm playing kind of slowly, I should be somewhere around the halfway point. But probably will have this one knocked out by next episode, and I'll update you on how I feel once I reach the end. But it's very cute, very much enjoying it, and that's about it for my playing.
Dope.
I played the demo of that, and it was very. I think it ends like when you meet the sandwich giraffe. And
Yeah,
she's so adorable. But like I also
she is.
appreciate the way that the like a nice metaphor for like having disability, like all the different things that
Mm,
like you take for granted and then like have to be like,
mm.
oh, how are they supposed to do this if they're in a T pose like
And I
that?
will say the character has a cute little dog that helps him out. The character also has a mom who just does not help them out. Like she's just like in the house,
Oh
just like
gosh.
watching you, like watching you struggle to navigate through your daily life. And she's just like la la la.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're used to it.
Yeah.
Alright. In that case, since I also haven't had much to say, should I go next and give you two a
Yes.
vocal cord rest?
Yeah, give us your Wordle update.
Alright, well, I have finished Wordle. Streak exactly 875 now. I got in 5 today.
Goodness.
So very beatable for anybody who's gonna try it right now.
No thanks.
I did it on Discord this morning. I didn't get it at
Aw, that's unfortunate.
again, it was like 6:30 in the morning, so my brain wasn't.
Not online yet.
More Tabletop Simulator, just still the HeroScape stuff. Did a lot of
Right.
testing on that this week, although was somewhat more busy just doing other stuff in general. Probably the thing that took up most of my time gameplay wise is playing like 3 full games of Civilization 4 while listening to podcasts and stuff. Which, I don't know how much I have to actually say about this because I've talked about multiple times before. But man, like the last 2 or 3 games of this I played have been really tough ones for whatever reason. Just kind of a lot of my opponents really going after me early. I think the one game that I just barely lost recently, I got like declared war on like 4 or 5 times in the early game. People just kept coming at me. Only barely lost overall, but it just sent me back too far. Um, Pokemon Stadium 1, I continue to just occasionally be playing that in bed. I've been all the Prime Cups, I guess you would say, in that for the round 1 Prime Cups anyway. I've been one of the Petite Cup, I've been one of the Poke Cup, I've been one of whatever the shit they called that last one, because it's not the same as Pokemon Stadium 2, and I don't remember it. But not too much to say there. It's it's still fun to use rental Pokemon in all the Pokemon Stadium games, try to figure out like a puzzle. But this has generally been, in fact, quite a Pokemon heavy 2 weeks for me.
Hmm.
But the one I probably end up playing the most was Pokemon Orange, which is one of the
Hell
games I
yes.
got to for the ROM hacks and fan games part of this. I take it that Matt has also played this then?
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, I saw you put this on the agenda. I got excited about it. Here's the thing, though. I played this ROM hack I looked this up in like 2020, 2021, around those 2 years, when it was still unfinished. So I was never able to actually
All
beat
right,
the thing. Only because you put
makes
this
sense.
back on my radar here now. Only now I learned you can actually finish it now, which is dope as heck. I loved that
Yeah,
when
it's
it
pretty
was still in
full-fledged, I'm pretty
development.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I am not super far in. I'm
Mhm.
about 2 hours in, and in fact, right now, as we speak, I am playing against the first crew opponent
The
slash gym leader,
goddamn
because that's
dog.
just a gym leader. I did play far enough into it. I wanted to play more, especially once I saw you excited. But so far this does seem like a very high quality ROM hack,
Yeah.
even just not far into it. One thing I like about this one, I find when it comes to Pokemon ROM hacks, I tend to prefer the ones that are like this, is that it feels very true to how the actual games are designed, rather than feeling the way the dialogue functions, for example. It's very natural to how a Pokemon game dialogue would be,
Mhm.
with kind of, casual conversation commentary on when your opponents lose, or little, you I don't know how to describe it, but if you've played a Pokemon game, you kind of know what I mean. It's The dialogue has a certain, just like, casualness. I don't know. I don't know, but it feels very realistic to how a mainline Pokemon game feels,
Yeah.
which I think is important.
And also it's using the engine of Gen 2, which is the best. I love that
I do really
aesthetic and
like
all.
Gen 2.
Yeah.
Gen 2, I generally love the Game Boy Color aesthetic.
Yeah.
Gen 2 has a really nice looking aesthetic
Mm.
too, I think. Um, I like, there's some nice custom sprite work,
Yeah, right. Didn't they put like
like with the main
all the
character.
modern Pokemon in there, or like up to a certain degree to Gen 6 or whatever?
I don't
Isn't
know
it
if they put all of them in, but I know that they put a fair amount in.
right? Okay.
Like there's Cutie Fly, there's
Yeah.
Pika Pack, because I'm, like I said, not far in. Cutie Fly, Pika Pack. They definitely put a lot in there. Um, the map design is very interesting. The fact that they give you HM Surf so early
Right.
and let you use it without a badge is very unique. Although probably not good for balance, I will say. Um, but that only means so much. But yeah, I'm about 2 hours in. I just beat the first and got the first badge. I'm pretty confident I'm going to continue this, because it feels like it has right now the feeling like if they made another Gen 2 game at the time, like let's say Gen 3 got delayed or whatever, and they made a Gen 2 game and they used like the Orange Islands from the anime as a base for that
Yeah.
reason, that this would feel like a Gen 2 game. And I really appreciate that kind of feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, when I played it, I was able to get 3 badges and then it was over. So, once you get more than 3 badges, you have surpassed me. And I might actually pick this. Well, I have a still officially like a Pokemon game on my back burner, so maybe I shouldn't start
I
another
mean,
one, but I'm itching to get
I
back
don't know.
onto
No
this one as
reason not
well.
to.
I need to see if I still
I
have my
mean,
old
if
save
you,
file.
yeah, maybe you could even use that with the new one.
That would be
If not, you
cool.
might have to start over, but not too big a
Yeah.
deal. I mean, if you do play it, I'll be pretty interested, because I feel confident I'm going to return to this one as like a game on listening to podcast or whatnot.
Yeah, it's my second favorite Pokemon ROM hack.
Now I'm curious, what's your first?
Yeah.
I know
This,
there's gonna be a later section, but
There's
I'm
that coming
curious.
later.
this is funny though because I'm spoiler alert, you got another Pokemon ROM hack that you're gonna talk about later. I just
Yeah,
saw,
yeah.
and it's related to my favorite Pokemon ROM hack in a weird way.
Mhm.
So I
All
guess
right. So we can wait on that one.
yeah.
I'll also say current team
Yeah,
is Arya the Clefairy, who I traded for,
good.
Deep Dish the Oddish, who I don't know how long I'm gonna keep it going, but Kreas the Charmeleon, who I haven't used in a while because there's been a lot of water Pokemon around.
Mhm.
Shino the Beedrill, who actually is a shiny. I have no idea how I ran into a shiny this early,
Yeah,
but that does mean I'm just gonna be running Beedrill the whole game.
excellent.
I'm not gonna remove the shiny. I don't usually use Beedrill that long, but Beedrill gonna be putting in work this time.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of shiny Pokemon, this is very much a
Oops,
tangent, but I
sorry.
just remembered I had a nightmare last night
What?
that I was trying to catch a shiny Slitherwing in Pokemon Legends Z. I don't even think Slitherwing's in the game, but I was trying to catch a shiny one and I fainted it, and I was so upset, and that was the nightmare that I had. So just wanted to share that.
Oh my
A
god,
shiny nightmare.
that's wild.
Lappy the Lapras, who I might even replace at some point, not sure, but you sure need somebody with Surf.
True.
And then Chuba/Chubba the Pikachu,
Oh
who
god.
along with Deep Dish was the person I used to get through the first gem. So that's my current team with that.
Yeah, pretty fun. I do like the promise of Beedrill like being a mainstay. That's you don't see that much. That's cool.
No, you don't. And then the other one that I will say I did not put a lot of time into yet, so I won't actually have much to say about it,
Okay.
is Pokemon Gold 97 Reforged, which is another one I definitely feel I'm going to come back to. I don't know anybody who really knows about this here, because,
I do.
I don't know, so I'm going to explain a little. So, Pokemon Gold and Silver had a Space World demo in 1997, in addition to a large leak probably a few years ago at this point, probably 5 years even, of unused or beta Pokemon designs, some of which may or may not have gotten reused later. And the Space World demo is lost. The code is unknown. But a lot of information about it's recorded. Screenshots. I think there is some coding left of what was in them. Because like it was in the leak or something. I don't remember all the details.
Hmm.
But this project basically is rebuilding the gold and silver game based on the Space World 1997 demo and the unreleased designs and other things that we know about it to make a new game, which is a really neat concept, a very what if kind of game.
Yeah.
Gen 2 is up there with Gen 3 and Gen 5, and probably is my favorite Pokemon generation, but it might be Gen 3.
Fair. Okay.
So, because of that, I'm very interested to kind of see this new twist. So, this was one of the first things I thought of when the ROM hacks and fan games idea came up. I booted up. Obviously, I had to take Flambear as my starter because it's the new one. It's the one that wasn't one of the starters before. Ignoring the fact the water one is too, but Flambear's cooler. I'm probably only like 30 minutes to an hour into this. I literally just got to the first town. I've only caught a few Pokemon, so I can't say much. But this is another one that does feel pretty high quality. Some solid sprite work. You can tell a lot of care has been put into the layouts to match original thoughts on like the Space Wood demo and make good sense. The first route, yada yada. But I don't have that much to say. Just so far, it seems like just from the start, it looks like it'll be nice quality. And again, the dialogue, it kind of has. I've played multiple Pokemon ROM hacks where the dialogue either feels too jokey or too serious. But these ones are both nailing the correct energy for a Pokemon game.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm gonna go on a little rant maybe. My
Yeah.
favorite Pokemon ROM hack of all time is called Super Gold 97 by a person named Level 3. That's their username or whatever. Which is doing exactly
All right.
that. We took those leaked beta sprites and recreated it sort of with an original campaign where you could actually play through a Pokemon adventure with those what if Pokemons that were lost to time, which was fun as heck, and I loved it. Now, when you put this here, Gold and Silver 97 Reforged on the agenda, I was like, hold on, this sounds really familiar. Is this maybe related to what I have played? And Googling it, it does turn out what you're playing is a further, slightly adjusted version of this Super Gold 97 that I have played back in the day. So somebody else
All right.
took this other ROM hack, adjusted a couple things they thought needed changing, and put it out there as this reforged version. So I guess you're playing a sort of doubly unofficial version 2.0 of what I have played back in the days.
Super unofficial.
So if you're continuing this, I'm kind of curious to hear your opinions with this. Apparently, it like fixed like the difficulty curve and like changed some trainer battles and whatever, like
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of that stuff. What I loved
And
about yeah,
all right. No, you go on because I wasn't gonna be saying
uh,
anything too relevant.
like I loved that original ROM hack, whatever, because those Gen 2 already had weird creature designs, but those beta designs, a lot of them are even weirder. Some of them are really bizarre, and it's cool to see them in a functioning game. My favorite
Yeah.
thing ever, probably in this ROM hack, is that you know how in Pokemon when so you know how the lore in the anime or whatever with Slowpoke is that he gets bitten, his tail gets bitten by uh whatever the hell
Shelter.
Shelter, thank you, and
Yeah.
then that's how
Yeah.
it
Shelter,
turns
that's
into
right.
Slowbro. There
Right.
where in that beta version of Pokemon Gen 2, that tail Shelter creature design was planned as its own Pokemon to be catchable and trainable.
Right.
Oh.
And of course, that was lost to time as this beta version died. But in this ROM hack, or these two ROM hacks, that is again revived as its own Pokemon. And it's so cool to me to be able to catch that specific version of Shelter as its own creature, which is, I remember as a kid, I always thought, like, why the heck can you not catch this as its own creature? Why is it only part of Slow Bro or whatever? And that was like kind of like a
Yeah.
fun thing to experience through this. You know, weird to me that there's this other version, but I'm glad you found your way to any version of this because it's awesome.
Yeah, this is one I've actually had in my backlog for a while because I paid attention to like the not Giga League, I guess, but the like big Pokemon League stuff.
Yeah, that was wild shit when it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Bog Leech, whoever it was that does like Pokemon like design reviews, reviewing all the
Mm-hmm.
like leaked beta designs. It was pretty neat to see.
Yeah.
And I feel like I might focus on Pokemon Orange a bit more than Reforged potentially, but I'm not sure. I do think I'm probably gonna try to eventually beat both of them.
It is
Who knows
so
how long that'll take though.
funny to me that there are probably a billion goddamn Pokemon ROM hacks, and you picked
I have no
exactly
idea.
my top 2. That is so
Yeah,
funny to me.
apparently.
Yeah, wow.
Because I've definitely played me some Pokemon ROM hacks.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's all your playing games. I guess
And
it is.
yeah, that should be everything.
I guess I'll just continue since I've already been yapping a bit. I don't have much that I'm playing right
He's
now.
a yapper.
I do be a yapper. Um, Not much really on my playing tab right now. I really only have 2 proper titles. Like maybe 3, but I haven't really touched Dino Crisis much since the last episode, so nothing there to say. The other 2 games that I have actively been playing is, of course, continually Magic the Gathering Arena. That's just my casual game of the moment. Like I keep playing that every now and then. Nothing much to tell there, but of course, my paper magic adventures still continue. which I've been keep yapping about in previous episodes, where I go to the actual local game store and play actual paper Magic as well, parallel to this video game version. And I would want to actually give an update that I think I teased at this in a previous episode that I was working on a pigeon themed deck, fit for one of the more high stakes, high level formats that are happening at the local game store. And I finally got all the cards together and actually dared to bring that shit to the pros that are roaming the tables there. Um, the core concept of this deck is a 2-card combo that stalls all regular card play and instead just floods the board with pigeon creature tokens. That is the plan for this thing. I would have been glad if I had been able to play both of those in any of the matches during that tournament that I visited. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But I got one good match that made it all worth it,
Alright.
where I was able to play one of those cards called Dovescape, which is the element that completely stops any player from casting any spell cards and instead replaces them with pigeons, which genuinely stumped my pro player opponents. They were genuinely surprised and didn't really have a good answer for that. So for a good while, it was just pure pigeon war with both of us like just spawning plenty of pigeons that crash into each other. And there was, even though I didn't get the second cards to make this combo for my complete win state, there was still a chance that I would actually beat this pro player with my nonsense pigeon card. But unfortunately, he did eventually pull basically like the one card that was the perfect answer to remove this pigeon spell of mine and take over the board again. Still though,
Alright.
it was like I didn't go into there to win anyway. The
Right.
most fun goddamn thing that I could imagine, and that did happen there, is to disrupt these pro players' high level combos completely,
With
and
pigeon.
then with the cherry on top of being like, uh, here, have a nice pigeon. Because I did also have my custom made pigeon token cards with like where I photoshopped like pictures that I took of my neighborhood pigeons and like made a nice little card and whatever to use for this deck. And it was so fun to play my nonsense card. My opponent being completely like stumped and confused, and then being like, here, yeah, you can like pick your favorite pigeon to represent your creature now as a as a gift to make up for this or whatever. It was so goddamn funny to mess with the pros like
It
that.
does sound like a good time.
And I am very excited to return with this nonsense and hopefully cause more pigeon themed mayhem. And again, I genuinely feel like there is definitely tweaking to be done with this deck. It takes too long for me to get the core cards going to really summon the pigeons. So I'm really relying on my opponent being slow as well to get this going.
It sounds
But
like you need some card draw.
yeah, and more mana shit, quicker shit, ramping as they say. I need more ramping.
Ramping.
Yeah.
But there's generally a chance for me to win with this deck despite this high level format that is so inaccessible to beginners, and that is awesome to me with my pigeon nonsense.
That is pretty cool.
But yeah, that's my magic real life nonsense for this week. I'm gonna keep it short this time. Um, Another actual video game that I've been playing, since we are apparently a video game podcast, as I have to remind myself.
No.
Oh.
Really?
An actual video game that I've been playing is another Virtual Boy one called Jack Bros, which I think is a spin off of the Shin Megami Tensei series,
That's
or
correct.
okay, thank you very much. Uh,
Tensei.
which
Tensei is genius.
Tensei? Okay,
Yeah.
got it. But it has like nothing to do with those games except for like characters that show up. This is a game. Uh, how to describe
Are you
that?
sure?
The-
Are you sure it's a game?
I do believe so. Nintendo claims so. You control a little character walking through mazes and shooting demons as you try to get the keys to get to the next level of the dungeon. Like it's a very basic, classic video game concept. The depth perception of the Virtual Boy here is used very sparingly. It's not really that crucial to the game. You could play this on a flat screen. But I kept hearing that Jack Bros, among the minimal library for the Virtual Boy, is considered one of the better games just because. Maybe because it is relying so little on the Virtual Boy gimmick and just is a straight up video game or whatever. So I was curious about playing this since I haven't had before, and it seems like a good game. I don't know if I'm gonna love it. I don't know if I'm gonna actually beat it. I've only had one session so far. Uh, but yeah, that's my main game right now, I guess. Or at least was during my travel time recently. And that's all I'm playing right now. I don't know. Dino Crisis still on the back burner again. Like I said, haven't really touched that. And I'm not. Maybe next time it's just gonna be on a retired list. We will see.
Oh, on that note of Dino Crisis,
Oh.
it's a weird note to read in on, but it's true. Technically, Pokemon Go 97 was my Halloween game because the second area is Silent Hills.
Excuse me?
In the
Pokemon.
original Gen 2 beta, they were actually going to call
Oh
the starting
yeah.
area Silent Hills.
Oh my god, yeah, I think I remember that now. Jesus Christ.
So because of that, that's what Reforged calls like the first little route towny kind of area.
Also, again, speaking of Pokemon, there's another thing that I wanted actually to bring up. Roy, did you see recent Magic news that they announced Pokemon Magic cards? Did you see that shit?
No, I did not.
That's huge.
That is fucking weird. Of course, Magic is full of branded franchise spin-off stuff at this point,
I
but
don't.
having Pokemon
Is
in
that
Magic
actually true
is
though?
wild.
Because
Yes.
like just googling, I don't see anything.
Yes, because it
Like a secret lair.
it's a secret layer thing, and it has only been announced by a certain amount of content creators that got like a first peek. It hasn't actually gotten like an official announcement on Wizard of the Coast's part. You know what I mean? But
Interesting. Yeah, because even like when I look up
yeah,
like Pokemon Secret Lair, I don't get anything.
yeah, I couldn't find anything either on their own websites. They are doing a bunch of video game spin-off cards, a whole bunch of Sony franchises as well.
Yeah, I
And
did see the PlayStation
yeah,
one.
because they come out first, and then later on it's gonna be also Nintendo stuff, including Zelda and Pokemon. And it is and those Pokemon cards seemed also to be originals and not reskins of pre-existing cards. So even that effort went into this, but it is so strange to me since Pokemon in itself has one of the most popular trading card games going on
Yeah,
anyway.
that is quite odd. It's true.
So it's so weird to see them also invade Magic, another of the most popular trading card games. Those Pokemon cards seem to be very Commander focused though for the format Commander. I am kinda
That makes
tempted
sense.
to get them and try the Commander format with them just because it's so stupid. But again,
I
they
mean,
are not coming out
Commander's fun.
soon. Commander's stupid. I don't care much for it, honestly.
Hey,
I have yet to understand.
I
It
didn't say
sounds exciting.
it wasn't. It's not that. I mean, all it is you choose a legendary.
Yeah.
That's your dude that you cast over and over, and you have to use the colors on them.
With a bloated 100 card deck that has only singles, and
Singles, yeah.
you played
Yeah.
with more than one opponent, it's just chaotic nonsense.
Well, you don't have to play it with more than one opponent, to be fair.
Everybody, like at a local game store, you will never see a 2-player game of Commander.
That's fair, but I've definitely played a fair amount of 1v1. I do think multiplayer is more fun with it, though.
I'm gonna stick to
I don't know
my
enough people.
pauper format, my regular classic 1v1 subdued common cards only pauper format. That is the best. But let's not let's get rid of the magic talk. There has been a lot in recent episodes
Well.
already. Let's move on to Leah. What have
Well.
you been doing?
Yeah, we just banned magic.
There's more magic, isn't there?
Yeah.
There is a bit more magic.
Oh my god.
You can't escape, Matt.
I'm so sorry.
No escape from crossing fate.
Yeah, so the first thing on my list is Tabletop Simulator, which I guess instead of playing nicely with people in real life, I've just taken to just throwing cards in this by myself and simulating games. So I found mods of like every single thing that I could possibly need. The only thing is that like for Lorcana, there isn't like a deck importer. So you have to there's a mod that has like all the cards out, and then you just have to like search every single deck for like the cards that you want. So I went through and I like made little objects out of like every single ink color, and then I just like made my own deck and saved that as a separate object. And I was just like, okay, anybody who wants to
use
like,
the bag.
yeah, just use the whole thing there. But there was one mod that gives you like the starter decks, but I was like, nobody uses the starter decks anymore. So if I can figure out how to do it myself, or if somebody can code the deck importer for Lorcana, that would be the last thing I need to be able to play Lorcana properly. But I found a good magic one. I found Caravan from Fallout 76. I found Tales of Tribute from Elder Scrolls. So I've got like all the card games from other things that I've been enjoying all in one app finally. So I've been playing that and enjoying myself. I did try to play one game of Lorcana in there, and the person just couldn't figure out how to work the decks with the scripts. So I was like, all right, well, they left, and I was like, all right, well, I'll just give this a go with people I actually know, maybe. But yeah, enjoying that, and I've also been going through a lot of like the base games that it comes with also, just to see how they work. Trying to stay away from solitaire because otherwise I'll just end up on solitaire.
Oh gosh.
That is how
I know the
solitaire
feeling.
is.
I have lost hours and hours of my life to solitaire. I won't say lost. I have spent hours and hours of my
Yeah.
life playing solitaire.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say lost.
Yeah.
The next on my list is Disney's Dreamlight Valley, which I mentioned recently that I gave up on them because they didn't have Winnie the Pooh yet. And that's why I kind of got shoved into Lorcana, because they did have Winnie the Pooh in that.
God.
Did they add Winnie the Pooh then?
They have not, but I haven't bought any of the paid DLCs. But apparently, the next one has Tigger. So with Tigger, I know he's the only one of his kind, but like he does have friends. So
Good for
On
him.
the other side.
it's a possibility that the rest of the 100-Acre Wood will come at some point in the future. I know like sometimes they add like they originally added like Simba and Nala, and apparently now they have Timon and Pumbaa, and they have like Woody and Buzz, but they don't really have anybody else in Toy Story that I know of. But like I just went in, and apparently they've added 30 characters since the last time I've played, so I have a lot to catch up on. I don't know where I'm gonna put these people in my valley, because again, my valley is like there's only a certain amount of space that you have, and you have to add everybody's house in order to like progress. So I'm running out of space for everybody.
Gotta evict some
But
people. Get them out of here.
I wish I could. Listen, I wish
Eviction
I
the
could.
Pooh.
Frozen would have been back in the ice a long time ago, but
Yeah.
Jesus.
yeah,
That's
so
cold.
Ugh.
So yeah, so I've gotten back to that, and I'll be playing that casually. Casually, I say, but like I think like each person has like max level of 10, and like just getting somebody to level 10 takes me like 2 days of playing, just doing their little quest and giving them gifts or whatever. So it's I say casually, but it'll probably take me about like 2 weeks to catch up to everybody with their quests and everything. So we'll see how that goes. And if I eventually get Pooh or Eeyore, which I love Pooh, but Eeyore is actually my favorite character from Winnie the Pooh. So
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do for him unless they give him like a store to control. I don't know. There's not real much to do for them. Pooh could have like a food store or something. I don't know. There's a lot. I remember when it first started, I was in the server for the official server, and there was a lot of people trying to figure out like what different characters would do. Um, so like they were like, oh, for the clothing store, maybe we'll get like the rats from Cinderella, and they can do like the clothing for you, or like, oh, these people are gonna do the food or whatever. So like right now, like Ratatouille has the restaurant, and like the clothing store is just Scrooge because he just wants your money.
Oh
But
my god.
like
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I thought you said screwed.
Oh.
I was like, there's no employees in the clothing store. It's just falling apart right now.
yeah, no.
Scrooge. Okay, there we
Yeah,
go.
Scrooge runs like the shop for like everything. So you go in and he gets really excited whenever you buy anything.
Of course.
So um
Truly the
and then
Tom
like
Nook of the game.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like Merlin's got the library for you to like learn all the different spells and stuff. So and then they added later on there's like a flower shop run by Beast because of the rose and everything like that. And
Because of one
everybody's got like little
flower.
things. They've got like different things that they have people doing. So like there are other stores and shops that they could build up with the Disney characters, but I don't know what they're gonna do. Considering that I think I haven't played for like maybe 4 years. The last time I was actively playing it was when Tears of the Kingdom came out. So yeah, so about that long.
I'm seeing that in the upcoming expansions or whatever, they are adding Cruella de Vil. You better not let that bitch
Icon.
live it. Oh, this is a difficult subject, I'm noticing.
There's a lot of very strange things going on when it comes to how these characters live
Uh-huh.
with each other. Like Ariel and Prince Eric are technically married at the end of their movie. They have separate houses. Elsa
Uh-oh.
and
Damn it.
Kristoff,
Call the
Elsa,
paparazzi.
Elsa and Kristoff live in the same house in their forest, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Hmm.
Rapunzel nowhere to be found, but Mother Gothel got her own tree house or whatever, and I was like, I don't understand
Wait,
why this is the way this is.
I don't under
Scar has
so
his
where's
own
Tigger
house.
gonna live then?
He'll probably
Scar.
come with his own thing.
Scar's
Yeah,
dead.
Scar. Yeah, well, Scar has his own house, and then Simba and Nala have their own house. I don't know
How
where Timon and
do
Pumbaa live.
they explain the villainness of these characters and still they are peacefully
Th-
living with the others?
that for Scar in particular, there was like a whole thing of like he had some beef with Goofy or something, and then they remembered that they were friends originally, and
Shush.
there was like a sometimes they do go over certain things. Like I remember with like Gothel and Ursa in particular have like a very like Loki thing going on where you're like, I need you because you can do this one thing, but I don't trust you. So it's like it's that sort of thing.
Yeah, and is
But
Cruella de
they
Vil just
haven't
gonna
really.
fucking rip the fur of all the furry characters to make clothes? Like, how? What?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
I
know.
was actually just thinking that her and Scar team up, and then there's a betrayal at the end.
That would be actually
It's
good.
funny though because the way I have my the plaza section, which is like the main section where your house is, I decided that was going to be like Rodent City. So I have Mickey, Minnie, and
Yeah.
Ratatouille all living in that area.
Okay.
And then they had to ruin that because then I had to put Prince Eric somewhere. So he is also there. But
Get him out
like,
of there. Eviction.
I know. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm hoping that they have or that they will eventually figure out how to get people out of your valley or whatever
Oh, is that
because
not an
I was like,
option
there's
yet?
too many people walking around. I can't do
Oh.
anything because like everybody's walking around doing stuff, talking to each other. Like Maui from Moana is like 4 characters large. He's just like walking around blocking things like as I'm trying to walk around. And
Have
then I'm like stepping
you
on Woody and Buzz because they're tiny and running around. And I'm like, okay, like
have you tried giving out some poisoned apples, perhaps? That might solve a problem or two.
so I need them to be like, you guys can go back to your biome or your domain or whatever, and like we'll get rid of your because like I really don't want Casa the what's her name? Encanto.
I
Her
don't
the
know.
Casa Madrigal or whatever is so annoying as a house. It's so large, took up half the forest, and then every time you go by the shutters start clanking, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so annoying. Why would you do this? I don't want this happening. It's like it's so annoying to walk around sometimes, and I'm like, I don't even want you here. Why are you here? Like I just needed you for a quest. Please leave. Like
Truly the landlord experience you've all been wanting.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier she was playing You Are Jeff Bezos. Now she's playing You Are
Right.
a Landlord.
Oh my god. What a nice
A
threat.
feudal landlord. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway,
Yeah.
um, we can move on to Red Dead Online.
Yeah, do we got the Halloween stuff yet?
Yeah. So the Halloween CTAs are back. Um, again, I'm not really much of a Halloween person or a spooky person, but this is the one thing I get to do with my friends online, and it's pretty cool. It's really hard to see, uh, because like the CTAs, the whole thing is like the moon fog covers the night or whatever, and it just becomes like it just looks like a dust storm is happening. And then you just got to fight like the undead hordes that come at you or whatever. So
Mm.
we played that last week and that was pretty fun. Um, hopefully I'll get another chance. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe sometime during this week before it becomes snow time. Um, at the beginning of November or beginning of December. I don't remember when, but I know it's like right after Halloween season. And then the other thing I'm playing on PC, I had is the Crew 2, which I had the Crew 1 for PS4, but I never got to play it before the server shut down
Yeah,
because I was like
yeah.
so behind on my backlog and everything. So, but for some reason it was like on like it was on Steam for like $2 or $4 or something like that. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that this also was open world, which was part of the draw for me for the first one because I just wanted there was like certain cities in the US that I was like, oh, I kind of want to just drive across the US. Like again, there was the same thing with like San Andreas being like, oh, you mean I get to drive anywhere and I get to just like enjoy, driving around the US? That'd be great. So that was the main thing that I wanted for the first one. So this one, I just assumed for some reason it was like set in Europe or like on an island or something, but I guess that's
Hmm.
like the DLC. So this is also set in the US, but this time, or maybe they had it in the first one. I don't know, never played it. But this one you have also water vehicles and like planes as well. So basically all I have done is just they you play the first race and then they just put you in a plane because like you get a free plane. So the only vehicle I have right now is a plane. So I just like flew around the US
What
looking
the
at
hell?
like and then that's basically all I've done so far. So the thing is with like racing games and open world, I don't know if it's gonna be like that thing where it's like you gotta drive to the next, area. And then I'm like, man, that's like 3 cities away. I'm not doing that sort of thing. Like,
It sounds like a good idea in concept, but it loses its appeal
yeah,
very quickly. I know what you mean.
there it is sort of enjoyable to play, but my computer was like freaking out after
Hmm.
like 30 minutes or so. So I was like, all right, I don't know that I'm gonna care too much to like actually play the races or if I'm just gonna be like, ooh, sandbox time, just fly around and drive around or whatever. So we'll see if there's anything that I actually should play races to unlock. I haven't looked at like any of like the customization options or whatever. So we'll see. I really haven't played a racing game in a very long time, like outside of the mini games that are in GTA or Red Dead, if like you can count horses as a racing game. So we'll see if this ends up being my racing game or if this just ends up being like I'm just gonna drive around for a while and not actually play it as a game to be announced, I guess, at a later date. I've gone back to Nitzal on mobile since I have gotten rid of all the other card games on my list, I reinstalled this and I counted all the single levels that they have in this, and there's like 135 levels or something, and I'm on like level 21 or something.
Mm.
So it is actually pretty fun, and it's sad in that it's a small studio because excuse me, it seems like a cool card game that I would like to play in real life, like if
Mhm.
people would like pick it up. But I don't know that I don't know how popular it is. Like there isn't a it's on the mobile store for iOS and it's on the store for Android. But so like at least it's available to most people on mobile, but I don't know if people are going to make this into like the new thing at any point.
Yeah, there's harsh
There's also like a
competition out
whole
there. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. But there's like a weird section of the game which I haven't really they explained it to me and I was like, okay, sure, back to the card game. So I guess when it gets to the point where like I need that to advance, then I'll care and I'll like look into like what the hell I'm doing with this. But there's like a thing where like resources where you need like a certain number of wood and minerals and stuff, and you have to like send your people to collect those resources for you. And I was like, I don't understand what that has to do with the game, but
What?
I guess I'll figure that out again when that becomes a blocker for me. And I'm like, all right, I guess I have to pay attention now. The last thing, this was uninstalled on my phone up until yesterday because now one of my friends' Discord servers, they just ton of new people, and there was at least 3 or 4 people that now play Magic the Gathering online.
God damn.
So I was like, wait, I just uninstalled all of these freaking games. And they were like, oh, we play Arena. Like, I have accounts on Moxfield. And I was like, listen, I understand everything you're saying. This is unfair. So they all
This is
just like
outrageous. Unfair.
somebody has been playing since like the early days, and somebody else just started like 2 or 3 months ago. So I was like, oh, okay. So there's newbies here. There's people who like understand what they're doing, and everybody seems, really chill and excited to find like new players. So I got pulled back into that. So I reinstalled it on my mobile phone.
It never
But
stops.
yeah. So I reinstalled it on there.
Magic never ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Magic regathered. So I am now back into that. Although I don't know how often I will be playing it on Arena on my phone, but again, I never uninstalled it on my computer, just on my PC, just because I'm like afraid of it like having to take forever to reinstall it later on. So that'll stay there as long as I have the room on that drive. Um but yeah, that's pretty much the other thing that I didn't write down here was oh, okay. Um I did start, but I got stuck in the second case of I started Hypnospace Outlaw
Mm.
actually just yesterday.
Yes.
So, I then I got stuck and I looked it up and they were like, "Oh, you just gotta search for this one word." And I'm like, "I'm searching and I'm not seeing what you're telling me I'm supposed to be searching." So I have no idea what I'm doing. So I quit the game, restarted it, tried it again, wasn't working. So I'll try it again, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe on Monday or Tuesday. I'll be able to go back in because again, this is another one that's like seems really easy to figure out, and I love the aesthetics of it. It really threw me back in
Mm,
time to like when when the internet looked like that all the time. So
right.
so yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
I've got to say, this has been an episode where a lot of the games that I mentioned as my sort of like 4 games that represent me, we've got 3 out of 4 mentioned on this episode. So we've had Katamari mentioned,
Yeah.
Pokemon mentioned, and now Hypnospace Outlaw mentioned.
Yeah.
So Diallo's back for real, for
Yeah,
real.
yeah. The big Diallo episode. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that concludes the playing section, huh? Which
Yes.
will move us into our discussion topic this week. It is time to tackle our discussion topic. Again, we are today gonna be discussing some ROM hacks and fan games. And I guess to start off, the general question at the group here, do we even dabble in these realms? Do we even care about these sort of or unofficial creations?
Definitely here.
Right. I guess
I do, but I
partially we
haven't
already
dabbled.
established. Yep.
Mm.
I
I
mean,
will say
that
that I
might be fair.
ROM hacks I have not played any yet that I can remember, but I have played a couple fan games.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, for me, just real quick, because obviously that's the general question, but I'm just gonna say, for me, what I actually started with a long time ago, back in the mid to late 2000s, was when there was a bunch of Toho fan games,
Of
like
course.
Super
Yeah.
Marissa Land, stuff like that. So that kind of started the interest, and then obviously, like, I love Pokemon, and if you go to certain websites, you probably can't go 5 steps without finding a Pokemon ROM hack.
Yup. I would actually go as far to say that Pokemon is probably the franchise with the most ROM hacks in existence.
Yeah, probably.
That is a
Mm.
It's
whole
got to be either
ocean.
that or Mario.
I would actually still put money on Pokemon. Actually, I feel like there's more meat there on the bone for fans to explore new things. But it's just
I'd
my
probably agree,
own
but
theory or whatever. And there really
Mm.
I'd
have
agree.
been a lot of interesting Pokemon. Of course, we have already talked about Pokemon ROM hacks, so we don't need to s- like sit on this for too long. But generally, I do believe there have been a lot of great creations by fans in the Pokemon ROM hack community. And I myself, I think I have said this before in my episodes previously that, in my opinion, the fans with their ROM hacks and fan creations have kind of carried the franchise for a long time. Maybe now with Pokemon Z2A, that is taking like a better turn for the official games. It sounds like they are doing actually
I admittedly
pretty
would
well.
not really agree with that, but
In my opinion, as somebody who hasn't purchased a Nintendo platform in over a decade, for
yeah.
me, it is blatantly that the ROM hacks and whatever, they did way more interesting things in the Pokemon franchise than any official things for me. And I love those for that. I think when I look at my backlog of Pokemon games, it is probably
Mm.
2/3 fan creation and maybe 1/3 official games. They just have not interested me in a long time. Well, the fan
I mean,
stuff,
also to be fair, you don't have the platforms to play a bunch of them too.
which is not really true
They
because the
can't go.
Switch can
They
be
can't go.
emulated as well. So
I mean, do you have a Switch emulator?
I have, and I have used it for Pokemon as well before.
All right, never mind. Never
But
mind. Then I kind of just you didn't have one downloaded, honestly.
no, I've used one a long time ago. But
All right,
again,
never mind then.
even that official game has not like been interesting enough for me to actually finish it. Meanwhile, the ROM hacks
Honestly, I was
usually
really
keep me
enjoying
engaged.
Scarlet and Violet, but
Yeah,
I do
no.
agree Pokemon has a lot of good ROM hacks. So I feel like I mean I even remember playing like Toomon, especially back in the day. You know, like one thing with Pokemon with ROM hacks, you get a lot of kind of wild ones too. I
Yeah.
would, you know what I mean?
I think
Um,
yeah.
like there's ones that hew very close, and then there's some that go very different. So there's a lot of variety there.
Yeah, I think it is just a creature collecting basis that just lends itself to
Mm.
any goddamn theming that you would want because you can fill those archetypes of anything. That's probably one of the major appeals.
And the battle system can be really deep if you want to build like a challenge game.
True.
Like one of the Pokemon ROM hacks I had a good amount of time on, albeit followed by falling off of it reasonably hard, was Pokemon Emerald Rogue, which is basically a Pokemon roguelike, as you might guess from
Oh,
the title. And it's the way it kind of worked for that is like you'd pick a starter for a run, and then you'd enter an area. You'd have however many randomized Pokemon to catch. You'd have like you can choose a Pokemon trainer battle, which I forget all the rewards you get from it. You can choose a route with wild Pokemon. You can choose a boss battle against a legendary Pokemon, whatever. And then at the end is like a gym leader with increasingly strong teams, whatever. And then you get like all the other stuff at the end. And and eventually they get like almost kind of competitive level teams. And that was pretty fun for a while, although it was one of the things where I think I found it pretty easy, so I kind of fell off because of that reason eventually.
Hmm.
But that was quite fun.
I will say on the subject of Pokemon, so again, I haven't played any ROM hacks yet, but I think that most, if not all, of the fan games that I've played have been Pokemon fan games. And maybe over the course of this episode, I'll remember some other fan games from other franchises that I've played, but definitely I've played several Pokemon ones over the years, more than I can probably remember. But two that I wanted to talk about come to mind that I played relatively recently. The first one is a game called Pokemon Roulette, which is kind of what it sounds like. And maybe calling it a game is a little bit generous because it's all RNG based. So basically, so you have this like big spinny wheel, and you click a button to spin. So your first spin determines which gen you're playing. Like they have gens 1 through 8, and then you spin to see which starter you get. Whenever you get a new Pokemon, you spin to see if it's going to be shiny. And then before every like gym battle, you spin to see like your pre-gym activity is going to be. So are you going to be catching new Pokemon? Are you going to be battling other trainers to like give your Pokemon experience, give them the opportunity to level up? Are you going to be doing some shopping and get like items like potions or like running shoes or something? Are you going to maybe find a mystery egg? Are you going to find a fossil? So all these little like random events. This is the big sort of like spinny wheel, and depending on what you land on, it determines what's going to happen for you at that stage of the game. And then after that, you go to the battle phase where you've got like green spaces and red spaces. You get more green, the green being like yes, you beat the battle, red being no, you're defeated. And the more Pokemon that you have in your team, the stronger they are, the more of the larger portion of your wheel is green. And so you spin to see if you beat the
Alright.
battle. If you lose, if you land on a red space, if you have a potion, this sort of function as lives in this. So if you get defeated, you use a potion and you get to spin again. And the goal is to try to just like get all the way through the Elite Four. Again, it's complete. There's no skill involved. It's all RNG. You're just like spinning and hoping that it lands like where you want it to land. But it's very addictive and
It's too
super
bad there's not a little
fun.
bit
I've
of
sorry.
strategy to it. It's too bad there's not a
No,
little bit of
you
way to
click
like
spin.
influence.
There's I mean like the one thing you can do is if you have more than 6 Pokemon, you can determine who's in your party, who's not in your party. But that's literally the only choice that you have to make. Like everything else is just like you hit the spin button, you see like where it
Well,
lands.
I guess
Um,
Pokemon was never a stranger to gambling, so that checks out.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it does get like very very addictive. You get like surprisingly invested. Like like you have like this like kind of a hodgepodge team, and you're hoping to see like how far they get and everything. I've managed to beat all 8 gens that they have in the
Damn.
game at this point. So that's been a fun one.
Nice.
Another one that's definitely consumed a lot of my time is a game called Pokemon Community Game, which is a Twitch extension.
Oh yeah.
And how this one works is that if a streamer has Pokemon community game enabled
Oh.
on their channel, then there's like a user called Pokemon Community Game who's like the sort of the bot for said extension. And every 15 minutes, a Pokemon will spawn, and you can throw balls. You could like enter like this Pokecatch command in the chat to try to like throw a ball at the Pokemon to try to catch it. They have fixed rates of success, like Pokeballs, I think, are 30%. Great balls are like 60% or something, and then Ultra Balls are 80%. No, Great Balls are 55%, and Ultra Balls are 80%. There's also like some other balls, like Quick Balls or like special typed balls. Like there's some custom ones that don't exist, like in the actual Pokemon games the devs for this one have created. But yes, the way that you earn money to purchase like balls and like other items is by being active in a streamer's chat who has it. So like the more active you are, like the more Poké dollars you can accumulate. There's also like events and stuff. It's like a little daily spin you can do to try to like a little daily lottery you can use to try to like win some other items and everything. I guess the kind of addictive the real hook in this one is that there's the Pokemon are sorted into 3 different tiers. C tier being the most common, and then there's B tier, and then A tier is the rarest. There's also technically S tier for like legendaries or other Pokemon that come out during events, but in standard gameplay moments, you have like C tier to A tier. So yeah, the C tiers spawn pretty frequently. B tiers are a little bit more uncommon, but the A tiers are very, very few and far between. To the point where if there's a specific A tier you're looking for, that Pokemon, it's possible they haven't spawned in the past 4 to 6 months. Like, so when you really are trying to complete your Pokedex, and there's like 1 or 2 Pokemon that you're like really like holding out for, it can get like a little bit like stressful. Be like, when will this Pokemon finally spawn? I've been waiting like weeks and weeks and weeks for like a Blissey to show up or whatever. But there's a nice little community on Twitch centered around said game, and it's kind of fun. There's also a Wonder Trade feature, so you can like if there's a Pokemon you're missing, you can like do a Wonder Trade and hopefully you try to get it that way. But it's been fun and cute. It's also competitive. There's like a battle portion which I'm not as invested in. I'm mostly there for the collection aspect. I'm a little bit in retirement these days because I have completed the decks twice now, and every time you complete the decks, you get a shiny charm. There's shinies too. Um, and you can increase your odds of like getting a shiny Pokemon by doing certain things, one of them being by accumulating more shiny charms, which requires you to complete the entire decks like a couple times. It took me, I think, like a little bit over a year to complete the decks the first time
Oh my
around,
god.
and then a couple months shorter for my second iteration. But nowadays, I think I've had my fill. I think I'm sort of just like more of a casual enjoyer at this point. But I had its hooks in me for a long time, circa like 2023, 2024. I was down bad for said game.
Yeah, I think I've seen that stuff pop up in some Twitch
Down
chats
bad.
before. I remember watching like
Yeah.
some fucking bird's nest webcam thing, and then suddenly the chat was talking about Pokemon, and it was very, very strange.
Yeah.
Cannot
I know some
escape.
Discord servers that have that same bot also.
Mm.
Hmm. Also, one other game that I haven't played yet, but this one's a ROM hack that I have my eye on is Pokemon Infinite Fusion.
Yeah.
The idea being you can sort of
Oh
like fuse two
yeah.
Pokemon together. Yeah, and there's a lot of like fan made sprites for like what the fusion of
Oh,
said Pokemon
yeah.
will look like, and they get there's like some stunning, gorgeous artwork out there for those. And just like the number of possible combinations because you have I think close to like 1,000 Pokemon these days, and so basically, so you can have two iterations of each fusion because like if you're fusing, for example, like Pikachu and Charmander, you'll have one version will be the Pikachu, like Pikachu. I think it's called like head and body. So Pikachu head, Charmander body will be one variation. We could also do the reverse and have the Charmander head,
Okay.
Pikachu body, and they can look like wildly different. So seeing like all those thousands and thousands of combinations, and discovering all like the sometimes beautiful, sometimes cursed
Yeah.
sprite work that they have in the game. It seems really, really cool.
There
Yeah, that was
definitely are some true
definitely
curse.
yeah. And that was definitely one of the biggest like Pokemon fan games in the recent years. I remember there was a real content creator
Oh yeah,
title. I still need to play that myself.
yeah.
Yeah. I know Alpha Rad also then did like Mario Mon.
Oh god. How what? How does it work?
It's Pokemon and the Pokemon are Mario.
Okay.
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 Dope. Thanks.
But like Mario characters or just various Marios?
Mario characters.
Oh
Oh,
my
okay.
gosh. Yeah, I don't think I need that version.
I've actually heard it's pretty good though. I
Um,
mean, I think I have it downloaded. Funny enough.
Speaking of
Because
Nintendo,
it has like a full Mario based like type system.
shut up. What, like Pokemon type pipe and mushroom and flower? Like what?
I think there is like mushrooms.
Those are that's the Gen 10 leagues: Pokemon Pipe and Pokemon Mushroom.
Hell yeah. I don't think I need that. But it's yeah, like I said, the
Oh
creature
no, I guess.
collection
Wait, no,
aspect,
I'm
you can
thinking of
put
something
anything in
else
there.
has that. I think it was a different Alpha Rad game. I think that had that. Now that I think. But anyway,
You could capture the sun. I might play
Don't.
this.
let's go.
Uh,
Just
Super
because I can
Mario
capture
Mon,
the
baby.
sun.
this is
Why
we have
doesn't Pokemon let us capture the sun?
we've mentioned so many great Pokemon ROM hacks already, and this is the one that grabs you. I'm genuinely feel disappointed and attacked.
I mean, Super Mario Mon got pretty popular.
Oh my gosh.
The
Never
thing
heard
is
of it
that
and
there
was
are
better
other
for it.
ROM hacks that I would play before I play a Pokemon ROM hack. So
Good, yeah.
that will be
What
shelved.
Speaking of some ROM hacks, because this does give us a chance to get off of Pokemon. One thing I find interesting is that there's there's a few games like this. There's Super Mario World remade from memory, and now there's been Super Mario 64 remade from memory. And those are kind of fun concepts where the people involved are basically trying to remake Super Mario World or Super Mario 64 from memory. And it's about as weird as you might imagine.
Yeah, those were fascinating experiments. I remember there was a whole like wave of that a year or two ago. That is definitely like
Yeah,
such a unique thing that we have access now that we, I don't know, game development is not that far fetched from the layman, and ROM manipulation, I guess, not that weird to get into. It is cool that this is a thing that we can just do nowadays,
definitely. I agree with that. Sure.
especially when it's so recognizable games like that. I do want to hear though, Leah. So you said there's other games that you would be interested in more. I would actually like to hear like what has there been anything specific that you had on your radar when it comes to fan games or ROMX?
I know there's like 2 Zelda ones
Mm,
that I keep seeing names everywhere, and I'm like, "That's great. Once I figure out how to do a ROM hack, I will play this." So, but yeah, I had saved them somewhere in my bookmarks, and who knows where that is now. They range from, like, actually could be a decent game to, like, for the lulz sort of
shitpost.
fan made stuff. So if I ever learn ROM hacks, that's the first thing I'm gonna go straight to, looking for those 2 uh ones that everybody keeps talking about
I
as if
mean,
they were like an actual game,
yeah.
like an official Zelda game. So I was like, okay, clearly I should get on that at some point. Um
Um, have you
and then yeah.
ever emulated a retro game ever?
Yeah,
So then
multiple.
And speak closely to the microphone. We have the lawyers in the background.
calling in the SWAT team right now. But like my point is, if you know how to play a ROM, then that's all you need to
Yeah.
know. There's no any extra steps really,
Well,
unless
patching it is
Well,
the
there's
issue.
some where you need to.
yeah, but that's like 2 clicks or something. There's really nothing to
Yeah.
it.
There's
Well,
also some
at
where you need to apply a patch for what it's worth.
Right, but
yeah.
again, that's usually not a big deal.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
I
not.
just
Oh,
never got that far, so
yeah, okay.
I
that
was hoping to do
speaking
it
of
this week, but I was a little too busy this week.
hmm, the talk of patching made me realize that I have maybe potentially played again Pokemon. A Pokemon ROM hack. I don't know if this counts as fully as a ROM hack, but I don't know if you all have heard of Kaizo Ironmon.
No.
Vaguely heard of it.
So it's like a Nuzlocke, but cranked up to the extreme. So basically, you're trying to get through the game with a single Pokemon. You can't battle any wild Pokemon for experience, just battle trainers. If you get KO'd, like that's it. You can't heal in battle. No, sorry, you can heal. You can only heal in battle. There's lots of rules. There's a whole like GitHub document
Yeah,
like
yeah,
listing
yeah.
out all the different rules, but it's basically designed to
Right,
be like
right.
excruciatingly difficult, just very like brutal, very unforgiving. And so you have to like patch the games to sort of like make them Kaizo Iron Monable, and I've dabbled in that a little bit, so I guess that could maybe count as a
I would
ROM
say
hack.
so. Yeah, it
Have
sounds
you
like it.
have you
Hmm.
ever played the ones like Run and Bun or Kaizo
No, I
Emerald?
haven't.
They're like just
No.
fucking difficult as shit ones. They're like the big like
Hmm.
Kaizo ones. Those are interesting too.
Yeah, the Kaizo that I've been doing, I've been playing it in Black, White, and 2, and like doing I applied the Kaizo patch to those. Yeah, so I started off like a couple streamers that I follow on Twitch play it, and I was watching them, and when I first started watching them, I was like, this just seems like torturous. Like I would never do it. But the more that I watched, I was like, actually, I can kind of see where the appeal in this might be, and then I got hooked, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't made it very far. I think the farthest I've gotten is like, I think I've gotten to the second gym, but haven't. I think I died before I get to the gym leader. But yeah, it's wild.
Now that was a lot of Pokemon
They're not-
talk. Let's try to get
Yeah.
away from the Pokemon.
it's hard to avoid it,
That is true.
you know?
In general, I have been thinking that I do believe ROM hacking is largely for Nintendo games. I think like other um, platforms don't really have that much activity, at least like comparatively.
I actually have a really personal opinion on why this is as well. Because this is actually a topic I've thought about way more than I should.
Yeah, I could think of a couple
But
reasons.
like I'd say the biggest reason is that and I think it's gonna be interesting because I think technology is evolving to the point we might see some difference from that. But I think the biggest reason for it probably is that for quite a long time, and even nowadays, by far the easiest thing to ROM hack is like 16-bit, 8-bit 2D games, basically.
Yeah.
And for a long time, like PlayStation, they came in after, after the Genesis, after the SNES, when it was 3D games. So they didn't really have a lot of those. And same for like Microsoft. So you had Sega and you had Nintendo. But by the time that ROM hacking became really popular, Sega was already dead, or effectively dead. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like the timing made it so that if you were gonna get into ROM hacking, by far the most natural one to pick was a Nintendo game of some kind.
Right, yeah. I think there's the additional element that Nintendo is becoming a more divisive company, and people are probably actively leaning more into the rebellious way of appreciating the previous work. I think that also has a part in that whole deal.
I'll admit I'm not sure that's a really big part of it, but I
In
feel
my
like
in
most
my
people who play these
eyes, is
ROM
it?
hacks are like really big fans. So
Sure.
I'm not sure how much.
I think
I
that,
don't know.
like, the thing is with when I think back on the kind of ROM hacks that I've been playing over the years, a lot of them are people reviving franchises that general consensus is like that Nintendo is mismanaging the franchises, and so the fans take it into their own hands. A lot of that is also found in those Pokemon ROM hacks, but there's also, I remember, of course, me as an F-Zero fan, I have gone down the rabbit hole of F-Zero ROM hacks, specifically with the Super Nintendo F-Zero. And that is also honestly a very, very big community with a lot of really creative
Right.
original creations and ROM hacks and whatever. And definitely there as well, at least partially out of reasoning that, yeah, Nintendo is not doing anything interesting with that franchise, hasn't for years. And so the gamers actually keep it alive for good. And that is like one of the major, I think, like miracles of ROM hacking in my eyes, one of the major reasons why it even exists. I
I
also,
mean, I certainly agree with like F-Zero, especially for that kind of thing.
yeah, I also shout out at that
I feel
point
like
to because since I am already talking about F-Zero, uh, it even goes to as far as to recreate completely lost F-Zero games, like the F-Zero Satellaview competition game that was only
nice.
spread in Japan in the 90s through their satellite attachment on the Super Nintendo, which um, there were different versions over time as the competition moved on, and only one of those versions was luckily actually archived by somebody who still had that on a cartridge somewhere, and the other version containing a couple of tracks and whatever were genuinely lost to time, aside from some crunchy video recordings. And fans 2 or 3 years ago went to extensive lengths to recreate that entire ROM, that entire version of F-Zero, based on major parts of those rare crunchy video files and whatever. Nintendo will never fucking care about that stuff, but it's like one of the
Yeah.
few extra pieces of that era of Zero that we have lost, and it's now back in our hands to play. Another, in my eyes, miracle of the ROM hacking communities and the
I mean, that's
abilities we have
definitely
with that.
cool.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. I do feel like most of the time, though, I feel like ROM hacks are mostly more made by major fans of something. Going away from Nintendo for just a moment, because I actually think this is a separate cool thing. It was really cool seeing Sonic Mania be made by a bunch of like prominent like Sonic fans and people who had done Sonic fan games and become so popular. That was something that I thought was quite cool when it happened. Sonic Mania, Christian Whitehead, all that kind of coming around.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm actually familiar with the details on that production. But we have to agree that that's a
So
rarity, whatever that happened there.
I feel like there's more Sonic fan
oh,
games.
100%.
I don't know what are official Sonic games at this point anyway, so.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Is it that complicated?
It is for me because I know Sonic 1 and 2, and that's it. And maybe Sonic Adventure. That's
Yeah,
it.
Sonic, the franchise is a wavering mass. I can't really keep up with it either at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems like the ones that Sega puts out are the official ones. Just real quick, since you say you didn't know much of the story, Christian Whitehead was originally like a freelance animator who decided to make a bunch of fan games for Sonic in like the late 2000s and I think early 2010s. And they wanted to port their games to like old mobile phones around that point in time. And he put together a proof of concept video of him getting Sonic CD to run on phones. And eventually they gave him the license to do the phone ports for like Sonic 1
Okay.
and Sonic 2, which actually ended up being like, for a while, arguably the best versions outside of the fact they were stuck on phones, which then eventually got him and some other guys who had done Sonic fan games to get hired as their own team, and they made Sonic Mania.
See, it kind of proves my point. Nintendo would never do such a thing. Never, ever. Which leads into my point of the motivation for fans taking their shit into their own hands due to some dissatisfaction with the official ones through ROM hacking. I feel like this all fits very much with my perception.
I mean, I do think it's worth noting that some people they've hired in the past did actually work on those kind of things, but
Yeah, but that's not Nintendo, right? Or am I?
no for Nintendo. Granted, at this point, it's like 15 years ago, though.
Okay, I guess I'm misunderstanding where.
Like,
Yeah, okay.
some of the people worked on like Argonaut Games, I think started with like illegal console hacks and stuff way back in like the SNES. I admit we've been such a long time. I don't remember all the details. I do agree that it's less likely that they would do it,
Yeah,
certainly nowadays.
yeah, that
Although I
feels
think it's
very
also worth
much.
noting that nowadays Sega also takes down fan games and stuff.
Yeah,
But that's neither here nor
fuck
there.
them. Fuck all of them. Make your own games,
Yeah, it's
everybody.
frustrating. Yeah. Although
Well, it's like
I will also say, I think this stuff does get overblown to an extent too. When you look at just how many fan games are in fact just completely around and untouched.
Yeah, thank God.
yeah, when it comes to mods, there was like a few Rockstar mods that like got taken down, and then like they end
Yeah.
up adding them to the Rockstar team or whatever. I'm assuming it has to do with GTA 6.
Mm.
There was like a few like fan remasters of stuff that they were working on, and they got taken down. I think they
That
also
actually
added
reminds
some
me.
people from the online mods as well. So, but again, to Matt's point, Nintendo doesn't seem to do that very often, where they
Yeah,
appreciate their fans for
God
the
no.
passion and energy.
God
So
no.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a but this does remind me when Skyrim put all their mod, like, didn't they recently do stuff with all their mods that like everybody was really iffy on, but like
yeah,
Or they
seemed also
monetized other
interesting?
people's mods, I think. Something like that.
I
Wasn't
think
that
the
a
people
thing?
making the mods still get the money, but it
Pro-
was like
probably
something weird.
probably not a lot of money. Again, I remember that was a thing, but I don't think I ever like looked too closely at that. Yeah. But I can't
Don't
imagine
remember
they
the
got a fair
details.
pay or whatever. Like
Well, I think what annoyed people is a lot of the mods that were there used to be free, is what I remember,
that makes also
and
sense.
people
Yeah.
just didn't want to pay.
Yeah, fuck that. The beauty of these private creations for shit is that they have full personal creative freedom in the realm of a more professional franchise. And that is like the mix that makes the storm so interesting in these realms of ROM hacks and fan games. As soon as these are like actually touched by the corporate overlords, it loses so much of its appeal.
Mm.
I suppose.
much like social
But
media.
Also, like there's also I've
what was the other
previously
one?
already like kind of alluded to it, but there is a Virtual Boy homebrew community Which is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
You would never fucking see that anywhere in any official like capacity. If with the Switch 2 Virtual Boy re-release stuff, whatever, if they actually somehow manage to pull out a new Virtual Boy style game, I would be blown away. But that's never gonna happen.
Yeah,
The
that'd be
fact
shocking.
that
That would
there's
be shocking.
yeah, the fact that there's passionate people that still play around with the limitations, with the technical limitations of the Virtual Boy, trying to get that weird platform to bring out something, like bring out more potential that was maybe missed out of this weird platform, is super interesting in several ways.
Mm.
It's just a fun experimental brewing pot and whatnot. And I love
They
that
even
sort of stuff.
got the link cable to work when the original Virtual Boy never had the link cable to actually have any
Oh,
games designed for it.
yeah.
And now they're making link cable games, which is
Yeah.
cool.
Nintendo could never. But sorry, I don't want to like go on the Nintendo hate train. I didn't mean to.
But I'm trying to think of what other like the one thing with a lot of these ROM hacks and fan games, I feel like I have a lot more in my backlog than I
Yeah,
have played. That is one
Mm.
thing. So
yeah.
that makes it a bit difficult to an extent. I wanted to play some more beforehand, but it didn't really necessarily work out.
Yeah, we
Like
have
one I
I
kind of
really expected that over the course of this conversation, I'd remember some more because I feel like I must have played more fan games than just like the ones that I mentioned like over the course of the years. But I'm kind of drawing a blank right now. One that does come to mind, um, which I guess some kind of like it blurs the line between like fan game and maybe like official sanction thing is Maple Story Worlds. So at one point, the Maple Story team released something called Maple Story Worlds, which is where you can use assets from like the original Maple Story and create sort of like your own use those assets to build your own, I guess, like game, be it like similar to Maple Story, be it like your own sort of like creation that just like, looks Maple Story esque. And I know that there's like a pretty like invested community with Maple Story Worlds. I haven't been able to delve into that yet, but Maple Story, you know, I mentioned previously, has like it's always got like a place in my heart. So it's something I want to look into eventually. But yeah.
yeah, I've often had this thing where I was playing, especially with retro games, where I was playing something old and wanted more. And my first
Mm,
place to look was probably like romhacking.net or whatever to see what other people did with that stuff. It's cool. So like Ninja Gaiden, I have stuff for Ninja Gaiden on my backlog. I have stuff for. There's a horror Mario Kart game that somebody brewed
Oh
up,
yeah.
and it's a funny, stupid idea, but I really want to explore that sort of stuff. I find myself
mm.
looking at these things pretty often after playing a retro game.
yeah, that makes sense.
One other thing I'll add is that I kind of want to explore trying to create my own ROM
Mm.
hack. So I guess watch this space. I haven't, you know, done any work towards that yet, but been sort of like an idea I've had in the back of my head as like a sort of a passion project for a while now. So
What basis do you envision for that? Or do you want to do a completely original thing?
I feel like I'd start off just like maybe like doing like some sort of maybe like a mod or a tweak to an existing game, likely Pokemon.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
I'm gonna call myself out here, but eventually it'd be cool to like take something like maybe like have like some existing ROM and then make something sort of like completely unrelated from that. Kind of like how and I don't know the exact evolution, but I know how like Off, for example, originated from like Earthbound.
Yeah,
So maybe something along those veins.
yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing news about that, how you get along with that. It would be dope.
I've thought before about things I would do if I did make a fan like ROM hack kind of thing, but I doubt I'll ever necessarily have the ability to do so. But I've definitely thought before that it'd be fun to do a Fire Emblem ROM hack, which
Mm.
I want to note is probably another major one of those franchises I would say has a lot of ROM hacks.
Oh,
I've got like probably 20 of those downloaded. I've
damn.
played one or two of them, but admittedly not many interesting ones. But there were another one, 2D sprite base. Um, you're coding. There's like they have like a whole hex editor for like Fire Emblem Sacred Stones that makes it a lot easier to do stuff with it because you don't have to code it yourself, kind of thing. Which actually does remind me, one thing I've done a lot for ROM hacks is pretty much any kind of randomizer. Those are always fun.
Mm.
And I've done those with Fire Emblem, which I've brought up on the show, and Pokemon. I've
Yeah.
actually found the Fire Emblem randomizers I tend to stick to more, though.
Yeah, those are cool concepts for sure. Remember, I saw a Ninja Gaiden level creator on itch.io, I believe, and I was very tempted to lose some hours in creating a Ninja Gaiden fan game. But I think I think my time is probably you know, better used elsewhere maybe right now.
I mean, you never know.
Maybe someday. Maybe in my retirement. I don't know that Ninja
Sorry,
Gaiden
I
is
had to fact check myself really
yeah.
quickly. Oh, sorry. No, off was not a ROM hack.
No, oh,
It
no,
was
no,
not
yeah,
originally.
no, I thought you just meant the inspiration, which is true. But yeah, it's not a
Right.
ROM
Yeah,
hack,
I
no.
knew that there was inspiration. I couldn't remember if there was like actual a ROM hack connection, but I just looked it up and there's
No,
no
yeah,
ROM hack
okay.
connection. So
Mm,
yeah.
for sure. And what I was saying with Ninja Gaiden, now that the 2D Ninja Gaiden is back anyway, now I guess we don't need much of the fan games anymore. That is in good hands, I believe, right now. Which is
I
nice.
mean, it's so cool to see them. So
Sure.
it actually reminds me that I've seen like Castlevania ROM hacks, and that's kind of neat. Only like a few, but it seems like a series ripe for them.
Yeah.
And then there's like the funky shit like Yoshi and Sonic the Hedgehog too.
What is that? What is
Those
that?
are the kinds that I like.
Well, like, so you have Sonic the Hedgehog too, right?
Yeah. And they
So
put
what if
Yoshi
you
in
take
there?
the mechanics of the mechanics of Yoshi from Yoshi's Island? How does the game play differently?
That's crazy talk. Is that allowed?
Yeah, why not? He carries baby Sonic and Tails on his back, and you gotta get to the end.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Sounds like a nightmare. Yeah.
How would you
Okay.
carry both of them on your back? Like, there's barely room for Mario.
I assume that like baby Tails is attached to baby Sonic, like flying / on his back.
These
I
are
really haven't played the
truly
game, so I'm not sure.
These are truly the most important questions one could ask.
I mean, yeah.
How could
Matt
Yoshi carry two
discovers the kind of
babies?
shit I have downloaded.
Oh my god.
I mean, dude, I got fucking I've got Fire Emblem Code of the Burger King and Fire Emblem Gilmore Girls. I'll download a lot.
Holy. That sounds like quality entertainment.
The Gilmore Girls one is funny. I haven't played it, but just as a concept.
Dope. I have a question here. I don't think we have answered this one yet, and I'm actually curious about this. Do you all have any pre-existing franchises that you would like to see fans create something for one or reason or another? Is there anything that you are missing in your
I
life?
mean, the answer is yes, but the answer is also it wouldn't ever actually happen for some of
Yeah,
these.
same.
Like what?
Persona. I'd love to see somebody make their own Persona game. Good luck. I don't think anybody's making like a 120-hour 3D RPG fan game from
Hmm.
scratch.
I would like a new Roger Rabbit game.
Roger Rabbit would be not a bad pick.
We do have a Roger Rabbit game that they could pull sprites from, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, have you checked if maybe somebody did something with that? Because maybe that exists.
Roger Rabbit fan game.
Live on air.
I'm looking on romhacking.net. You never know what these freakazoids out there
I,
play with.
I don't really see any, no. I see
Yeah.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit DOS game, but it's not fan made.
No, definitely not. Who framed Roger Rabbit? There's a reframed on romhacking.com, an improvement hack. Which I guess that's just taking the original game and putting some quality of life adjustments on there. Yeah.
Actually, I
I
just
see.
thought
There you
something. You
go.
know, it'd
I
be
will play
sick
that.
for a fan game. There you go. Send the link.
I will send a link. And also, it only just got released last year, so this is a fresh thing. Somebody genuinely
nice.
went to work on NES Roger Rabbit in 2024. My God bless their soul.
Gotta do.
Jesus.
Hell yeah.
Be
But
the hero that you
one
want to
that
see in
just
the
came
world.
to mind, Punch Out. That would be a great series for fan
Oh,
games.
I think there are a bunch.
there is, or maybe there was
There definitely
an
are
idea
some. I know
of.
that.
There was some people that were looking into making a Rocky Balboa version of Punch Out.
Oh, hell yeah, dog.
So,
Romhacking.net
I mean,
does have a couple or complete ROM hacks based on it. One of them a horror themed one, and I'm kind of interested.
interesting. I do know there's a lot of not fan games, but just games inspired by Punch
Yeah,
Out that seem to be coming out.
that's true. That seems like a little wave currently. Yeah, notice that as well. You know what they really should do
This
ROM hacks with though? It's the boxing game for Virtual Boy. How about that?
Telero Boxer.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, buddy. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I know Telero Boxer. Who
Oh
doesn't
my
know
god.
Telero Boxer?
Yeah. For real.
I think the one game I can think of that I'd like to see a fan game of, and this is going to be super, super incredibly niche, but once upon a time, there was a mobile game called Kawaii Pet Megu, which is kind of like a Tamagotchi-esque game.
Okay.
And it got shut down a couple years ago. It's no longer being supported. It got shut down a couple years ago. I think maybe like almost 10 years ago at this point. I don't know. Time is a blur. But I would love to see someone bring that back in some sort of like unofficial capacity. I think at one point there was some sort of like Kawaii Pet Megu restoration project. But I don't know if that's like if they've kept up with that at all. But it was cute and charming. Part of the charm was it was hilariously just like comically poorly translated. Like not a single sentence sounded natural or like
Excellent.
was able to be deciphered really. But it was I don't know. They had a lot of cute artwork. A lot of my early or not a lot of a couple of my early internet handles were named after some of the creatures, some of the pets from that game. But it's sadly no longer with us.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah, ROM hacking has done a lot of for preservation in general. Also, all those translation works that you can find for like Japanese only games.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, what a blessing that shit is, man. It's so
I
cool.
love that shit.
Yeah.
Obviously, one I would be interested in is Summon Night Swordcraft Story like fan game because I'm like that one guy.
Again, have you checked if that isn't already a thing, maybe?
They don't
Ex-
even have the third game translated as a game yet. There ain't no fan game.
there's a so-called extreme mode of Swordcraft story though. Maybe that's something for
And
you.
that's not why I'm that interested in, but maybe.
Okay. Anyway, okay.
One last thing. This is not on the list of ones that I necessarily want, unless I lead it into something. But it was one game I really wanted to point out. Well, actually, no. I'll point out another thing after this. But one fan game I wanted to shout out for being such a big project was Undertale Yellow, which I wanted to find time for but didn't. Because that's like a much bigger project than the average fan game, I would say.
Hmm. I think I've heard about that.
And it's a rather neat one. But Klonoa fan games, I would go crazy for that shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I could see something like that existing. It is a cult thing, a cult status game.
Cult thing. It actually does have GBA games you can rip sprites from.
Right. Mhm.
And it's a franchise that has not gotten a lot of entries recently.
Yeah.
What
Right.
about a Ridge Racer fan game?
I mean, the Ridge Racer franchise has been very saturated. I think we have a good pool to play. And I think it would
I don't know.
just
There hasn't
be
been a Ridge Racer game for like 12 years.
that is true, but also does it even have that much of a unique uh is it even that unique? Would a Ridge Racer fan game not just be a fairly regular racing game? I don't know.
I don't know. I think you could do some stuff with drifting mechanics.
I guess that's true. I don't think racing games get too much fan stuff. Although maybe that's not even true.
They've got to be really difficult to develop like that, I feel.
Yeah, I have no idea. Okay, but maybe we should actually, in the interest of time, move on to our guess the game segment. Let's play a round of guess the game, where the aim of the game is, as always, to guess the game. Leah, I believe you have prepared our adventure today, so why don't you
I did.
do us the honor?
Today's game is one that Diallo and Matt have completed.
Okay.
And
Alright.
the first clue is by Tangential Pit 47, at a time of 4 hours. Had seen a playthrough of the game prior to playing myself.
Awesome.
4 hours.
4 hours. I've seen a playthrough before.
All right.
So that's the only info. And it's something I haven't played.
You haven't completed it at least. I don't know if you've played it.
Okay.
I haven't completed at least. Alright, I'm gonna say just off the top of my head was the first thing I thought of. I don't actually even know if the other two have been it. I'm gonna go Doki Doki Literature Club.
But as a reminder, we did have that one before. I guess there is no rule against having the game again.
We
but
used the same one again last time. So there ain't no rule.
no, we didn't have a repeat yet.
Or like a few times. Are you sure? I could have sworn I did a repeat once. I tricked
We
you.
haven't repeated any games this season.
No? Okay. Well, I'm guessing the repeat. I'm feeling it.
I mean, if we didn't have Doki Doki before, that would have been one of my first ideas as well here. But I'm not. Was it 4 hour? I don't know. I remember. Yeah.
No, I'm formulating, guys. Still, so you can go first.
I don't have a concrete idea yet, but I'm also flying around in the this sort of space. Maybe some meta experimental PC game or whatever, which would make sense that the person has seen a playthrough beforehand. I'm not really sure what the 4 hours could be. Superliminal we also already had.
Yeah?
I'm gonna say, although I have no idea if this actually fits, I'm gonna say beginner's guide.
Alright.
The 4 hours is really throwing me off because I feel like I can think of a lot of games that are like 2 hours or shorter.
Yeah.
I can think of a lot of games that are like 6 hours plus, but I feel like that the 4 hour spot is kind of throwing me off here.
Yeah.
This feels probably way too short for it. I'm gonna guess Transistor.
Oh, Transistor. That could happen.
No, it can't.
Oh, but I've been Transistor is the problem.
Yeah, and I haven't, so.
Oh, well, there we
But
go.
anyway, let's Leah. Let reveal the.
Everybody's got their.
Yeah.
Nobody's gotten it.
Okay.
Alright.
So the second note is Never Forever 4 with a time of 12 hours,
Oh my god.
24 out of 41 achievements.
Oh god.
We got achievements.
Who here pays attention to achievements? 24
Who here is an
out of.
achievement hunter, if you will?
Yeah, not me, man. It's not. It is definitely not a Mohun hunt. That's for sure.
So it's gotta have a wide variance in main and main plus then.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that one game that everybody hated a couple years ago? The time loop one. Was it 12 minutes? Is that what it was called?
That flew.
No, not Death
12
Loop.
minutes.
12 minutes, I believe.
It's 12 minutes.
I'm gonna just say that. I have no idea if you, Diallo,
I hated
played that,
Deathloop,
but yeah, I didn't find it great either. But I
Um,
feel like that might fit.
I mean, 12 minutes does not feel like it's going to be nearly long enough is the problem.
The thing is, my argument is here that
12
is a
minutes
game
oddly
with
long.
multiple endings, and I could see somebody spend that much time
Okay,
capturing
fair.
all those multiple endings.
That's fair. It could
Is
just
there a
be.
platform it's on? Can we know? Or is that...
I already gave my guess, dog. Come on.
Hey, that's not his fault.
I bet it's PC.
We haven't locked it in yet. Well, it's on multiple platforms.
Okay.
How about you
multiple,
only
so
give
it's
the
not
platforms
individual.
of the notes?
Okay.
I feel like that's
The
good.
first and the second one are PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I'm sticking to my 12
It's
minutes.
5, you said?
PlayStation 5, yeah.
And it's a game that I've beaten.
So that makes me think
So it's gotta be multi-platform because I don't have a PS5.
Yeah.
that might even mean it's an older game that is available on PS5.
Yeah.
I am really stumped with this one. I'm trying to think. Oh gosh.
don't remember if this game was actually released on PS5. It's now the problem I'm having.
I'm sure it's probably Tetris, let's be honest.
I mean, Tetris is definitely on PS5.
Yeah, it's probably on everything.
I mean, if your
Playable
system doesn't have Tetris, what is it?
Really,
Yeah.
truly.
Basically.
God. So it's on PS5. No, that one you can't complete the main story in 4 minutes. Most likely. I mean,
Hours.
you probably could. Well, you probably can't be in 4 minutes either, to be fair.
Right. Keep in mind the 4-hour completion already knew the game, so they might not have to look up any solutions.
That's true. I'm mostly just thinking that, like, can you even physically beat it
Right,
that fast?
right.
More
Mhm.
so, like, even if you know everything. That's more what I'm thinking. You know what? I'm not sure if this is on PS5, but I'm gonna say it. I actually don't know if Diallo's ever beaten it. Go with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
You can definitely beat that in
I'm
4
not good at
hours.
beating it.
I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna make a guess, and this guess is based on the fact that my assumption is that this person was able to get a dramatically faster main story time, having seen the game before, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess Outer Wilds.
Well, that's a good one.
I don't know that it is, because 12 hours also feels like very short for the medium time for that one, but who knows? I'm feeling stumped right now, so I gotta just throw out something.
I had one I was really thinking it might be, and then I shied away from it, so...
You can keep that for the
Right,
third
so-
round. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Matt, what was yours?
12 minutes.
Nobody's gotten it.
God
Third
damn it.
round.
I'm changing my. It wasn't 12 minutes.
Alright.
Okay. The Fall Ender, with a time of 14 hours, 42 minutes. All achievements, no KCs.
Casey's? Can you spell that?
Casey's?
Kaycee.
Oh, Inscription.
Shush. In 4 hours? Shush. No fucking way. Is that possible?
Since I can't guess what somebody else has guessed, and I'm pretty sure that Diallo's got it, I'm just gonna guess the guess I was gonna guess before, which is Detroit Become Human.
God fucking damn it, dog. God fucking damn it. I believe Diallo is right. I'm just gonna say something. I don't fucking know. What's another Danny Mullins game? I'm gonna say The Hex. Whatever. I do believe Diallo is right.
Yeah, Diallo's got it.
Yeah. See,
We're back, baby.
the thing is as well, when I said I'm in the realm of, I don't know, fucking meta games or whatever, that seems to be the sort of thing that Diallo and
Yeah.
I both be playing or whatever. But the 4
Yeah.
hours do not make sense to
Yeah.
me at all.
Yeah, the 4 hours, that was a big,
Yeah.
that threw me off big time.
That's wild.
I mean, I guess he
Goddamn.
had seen it played.
Still,
Yeah.
even with the knowledge, seems kind of odd to me. That's a really rushed playthrough, I believe.
That feels like a speedrun time almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The rest of the notes were all like 10, 11, 12 hours on the main, and then there was that one.
God damn.
Like, I haven't even played this yet, but what?
Amazing game. That is
Yeah.
so
I
cool.
guess.
Can't recommend it highly enough.
Same. God.
Eventually.
See, Diallo was gone for so long, didn't even fall behind in the score that much, and yet first game and he won. My God.
True.
So that was the third
Going
note
up,
though,
going
so
up to 6.
it's 1 point,
Yeah.
coming to the
Yeah.
6. We're all just 1 point away from each other. Diallo 6 points, Leah 7 points, me 8 points, and Roy King with 9 points currently. God
Yeah, all because I got that Super Mario 64 guess.
damn. Yeah, god damn it,
Yeah.
man. Ah. All right, that will conclude this entire episode. It is nice to see that with a complete group, we are getting to our usual times again. I hope
Yeah.
everybody enjoyed our yapping and rambling and ranting. Please let us know your thoughts on ROM hacks and fan games in whatever sort of way you would like. We would like to hear from you. I guess that is it. Thanks for listening and goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
But
I'll talk for now.
later.